Today's game is sponsored by Axis Electric. At Axis Electric, they specialize in all your electrical needs. Whether the electrical problem is in your home or your business, they can take care of it. They know it's never a good time to have an electrical problem. That's why you can rest easy knowing that the job will be done right when you call Axis Electric. Also, we'd love to wish all you fathers out there a very happy Father's Day. Thank you for spending your special day with us.
Hello, hello. There we go. That's better. I don't like not being able to hear when we're getting closer to the event. So what do we got? 3 minutes about, 2.5. Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium of Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with a big crew today of Thomas Rudolph, Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, Garrett Dworshak, Dale Hummel, and more. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to this Father's Day West Coast League special between the Corvallis Knights and the Walla Walla Sweets. Along the way today, we'll be celebrating fatherhood in the game of baseball and other sports. I hope you will indulge me in some of my own reminiscences about my late and wonderful dad and the upbringing that I was blessed to enjoy with him and my family in Southern California. We're going to hear from J.C. Ng here shortly. He has the first Father's Day shout out and message to his dad, listening back and watching in the Bay Area today. J.C. did a nice job last night in a difficult game for the Knights, losing 8-4 in game one of this three-game series. The Knights will be out to try to get things even today behind JC's teammate at Pomona Pitzer. They both attend Pomona College as part of Pomona Pitzer. JC will explain that Pomona-Pitzer situation in our pregame show coming up here shortly. But Ethan Collins will get the baseball today for the Knights against Walla Walla as the Knights try to get this series even and create a rubber game back in the evening tomorrow night at 6:35. It has rained, as you well know, here in the Mid-Valley on this Father's Day, and the crew that I mentioned earlier came out early. They erected a canopy up over our outdoor booth, so we are protected from the elements should it dare to rain again. But we've only had, I think, one rain out in the history of Corvallis Knights baseball since the Knights moved here from Aloha in 2007, and we're not going to have one today. But it is some of the poorest weather conditions, quite frankly, that we've seen. But game on for the Knights in Walla Walla. We're glad you've joined us, and happy Father's Day. Thank you, Emma. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads, and thank you for everything that you have done for all of us, and dads and granddads and so on today. It's a special day, and Father's Day, I've already had a blessed day with my youngest daughter, Elle. My other daughter is with my wife in Scotland, in Edinburgh, at this very hour. And they are getting to experience those long, glorious days at 54th parallel, experiencing gorgeous days in the beauty of Scotland. So I'm blessed and happy for them. Glad to be here in Corvallis with you and with J.C. Ing joining us after this 2-minute pregame break on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Back at Goff Stadium at Coleman Field on this Father's Day, Sunday afternoon. Mike Parker joined by J.C. Ing. It's been a pleasure to watch you play, J.C., and it's nice to meet you here. Welcome to the pregame show, and your thoughts, first of all, on Father's Day. I don't know if you have family here or any message you want to share, but fire away, and welcome to our pregame show.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks for having me. It's a great day to be out here. Happy to be out here on Father's Day. Unfortunately, my dad's back at home, but shout out to my dad, Norm. He's a great guy. I wouldn't be here today without him, and also a happy Father's Day to all the fathers on the team as well as all the ones making out to the ballpark today.
Beautifully said. J.C. Ing, my guest. J.C., how did you end up coming to the Corvallis Knights? How did this opportunity work out for you, and how's it been so far?
Yeah, it was a long-standing connection between the associate head coach, Coach Nags, and my head coach at Pomona Pitzer, Coach P, back from when Coach Nags was at Wenatchee. They made that a good relationship back then, and so continued out to here, and I'm glad to be here, very fortunate, and making the most of it.
It's been fun to watch you play. I like your offensive style, but also just the way you roam around center field. Have you always been an outfielder? Are you comfortable playing center field here at this ballpark?
Yeah, no, I've been an outfielder for most of my life. The left, either that or first base, and I went early on. I wasn't going to be a first baseman at the high school or the college level, so I got used to it pretty quick at a young age. At Pomona-Pitzer, we have a pretty small center field, so getting used to the large outfield here at Goss was kind of an adjustment, but good challenge. So it
looks like you picked the ball up pretty well, though, and that's not easy at night, twilight time. I know we've had some cloud cover. It'll be interesting along the way as the summer goes along, but the wind pushes, the light shines. Are you able to pick the ball up pretty easily, though?
There's a period in the first few innings when the lighting gets a bit tough, so it's really important at least for myself, to make sure I'm focused every pitch, because I've come to learn the hard way when you're not paying too much attention, especially at nighttime. The ball's gonna find you and you're gonna get exposed. So really, it's just a focus exercise for me.
J.C. Ng, my guest on the pregame show. J.C., you're from Foster City. I lived in San Jose for 1 year of my high school life a long time ago, but my dad had a job site in Foster City, so I've made the trip San Jose to Foster City a few times, and even, maybe he built your house. I don't know. But tell me a little bit about growing up in Foster City, what that was like, the baseball there, teams you liked growing up, etc.
Yeah, Foster City, great town. It's a great baseball town. Little League's a big thing there, so that was kind of how I got my passion for baseball growing up. It's just a great baseball culture back then. So it's a little bit of a windy city along the bay, but no complaints. A great place to grow up.
Yep. I'm glad you're here as part of this. I noticed in your bio that last summer, you were on the opposite coast, if I read that correctly, playing in some sort of New York Collegiate Baseball League in Syracuse, towns I've never heard of. What was it like to be back on the other coast?
Oh, it's definitely a lot better being closer to home. Getting to play in a much nicer ballpark with a lot better baseball. It's always exciting. But very grateful for my time in Syracuse. Got a lot of great places to develop. Got a lot stronger in the gym. So overall, I'm happy to be here, but I'm also very thankful for my last summer in Syracuse, as well as the last few weeks I spent in Wisconsin for summer ball.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Pomona-Pitzer. We've got a guy you're pitching today is your teammate from there, right? And Ethan Collins?
Yeah, no, Ethan's a great guy, a great competitor. So, I got the off day today, but I'm very much looking forward to watching him compete today.
Tell me about Pomona-Pitzer, though. I grew up in Hacienda Heights, California, so I know Pomona. I left when I was 14, but I don't exactly know much about what kind of institution it is and how you ended up going to school there, playing ball there. Tell me about what you're studying and what life is like at Pomona-Pitzer.
Yeah, it's a small school, so Pomona and Pitzer, they're two separate colleges, and they come together to make one athletics program. I go to Pomona College as well as my teammate Ethan. A small liberal arts school down in Inland Empire, Southern California, about 500 kids per class, about 2,000 people there total. But no, it's a great school, great academics, and that's one of the reasons why I chose there. I've really enjoyed my time there. Great academics, great baseball, and I couldn't have asked for a better team to play for.
JC, I'm glad you're at Corvallis night. It's nice to meet you. It's been fun to watch you play. Enjoy the day off on this Father's Day. We'll see you back at it soon. Thanks for taking time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Have a good one.
JC Ng, my guest on the pregame show. It's the Knights and Walla Walla, Game 2. The Knights looking to bounce back and get this series even, following last night's rough loss, 8-4, a rare rough 8-run inning that the Knights allowed. They want to turn that around and get back on the right track today on this cloudy, occasionally damp Father's Day, but a celebration of Dad's baseball. It's a good combination. We're glad you joined us on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
our national anthem on this Father's Day 2023. It is great to have you with us. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's ball game between the Corvallis Knights and Walla Walla Swedes. First of all, for the visiting Swedes, leading off and playing second base, Kennedy Hara. Batting second at shortstop, Peyton Knowles. Hitting third, the designated hitter, Ben Parker. The cleanup hitter at third base, Andrew Graham. Batting fifth in center field, Logan Meyer. Manny Casillas hitting sixth at first base. Max Martin in the seventh hole in right field. Hitting eighth for the Walla Walla Swedes and catching is Davis Carr. Batting ninth in left field, and I had the pleasure of saying hello to his parents. We were both fueling up at a gas station downtown. Saw Walla Walla Swedes gear adorning both Mama and Pop as they were outside of their vehicle. I said, yeah, there's got to be a connection. I said, do you have a son playing on the Walla Walla Swedes? Yes, we do. Who is he? They said, well, there he is right over there. Walking out of the Corvallis Hotel. His name is Gavin Ayers. Gavin batting ninth in left field with his folks making the drive down from Kennewick for this weekend series and this Father's Day. And on the mound for Walla Walla will be Hitaro Hayashi, getting the start against the Corvallis Knights lineup that looks this way. Leading off, the designated hitter, Tyler Quinn. Batting second in right field, Sam Stem. Ethan Hedges hitting third at third base. Blake Avila, the cleanup hitter at first. Ethan Hott batting fifth in center. Levi Jones batting sixth in left field. Tate Shamau batting seventh at second base. Tyler Howard hitting eighth and catching. Batting ninth at shortstop, Tai Yukamoto. And Ethan Collins about ready to go for the Corvallis Knights with our ball game getting underway. Collins, right-hander, delivers in his first pitch. Missing low and inside. Ethan from Rossmore, California, and attending, as we talked about with J.C. Ing, Pomona Pitzer. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Hits the right-hand hitting Kennedy Hara. And Hara heads down to first. It is indeed, it'll be refreshing along the way today. We certainly hope to see the Knights pitchers fill up the strike zone. 10 walks and 2 hit batters in last night's game essentially gave them no shot to win. And giving up all 8 runs in one inning, an inning wherein they walked 6 and hit 1. The batter is Peyton Knowles, the left-hand hitting shortstop. And the first pitch is in there for a strike from Ethan Collins. No balls and 1 strike to Peyton. Ben Parker on deck. Top of the first inning on a cool, cloudy, and occasionally drizzly Sunday afternoon, Father's Day 2023. The strike 1 pitch from Ethan misses down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Collins and Howard the battery. Blake Avila at first. Tate Shamau at second. Tai Yukamoto at short. Ethan Hedges at third. The 1-1 pitch, fastball just outside, ball 2, 2-1. In the outfield for the Knights, Levi Jones in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stem in right. 2-1 the count to Peyton Knowles, who takes just outside, ball 3, 3-1. Coaching down at third base is the acting head coach Tyler Charlo with Anthony Murillo coaching at first base for the Swedes. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike, and that runs the count full to 3-2 to Peyton Knowles. We'll see if the Swedes are of a mind to run. They don't. The 3-2 pitch is high and away for ball 4. So Ethan Collins will do what he can to try to get himself into the strike zone. He's hit a batter, he's walked a batter, and that'll bring Ben Parker to the plate. Ben, the right-hand hitting designated hitter, will step in for Walla Walla, which won last night's ball game, taking advantage of the freebies to win it 8-4. And the Knights starting, in a sense, in a similar vein. A line drive base hit to center field by Ben Parker. Rounding third is Kennedy Hara, and he will score. And Walla Walla, which beat the Knights last night handily, off to a 1-0 lead today with a hit batter, a walk, and an RBI single for Ben Parker. 1-0 Walla Walla. Peyton Knowles stops at second, and Andrew Graham will be the batter. The wind blowing out and blowing out hard towards left center field. 330 down both lines, 365 to the alleys, 400 feet to straightaway center. The pitch on the way to Andrew Graham, the cleanup hitter. He bunts and bunts it foul into the upper grandstand above the Jack Riley concourse to our left. No balls and 1 strike to Andrew. 1-0 out of the gate for a Walla Walla Sweets club, which came into Corvallis at 3-9. Beat the Knights last night and get the jump today. The strike 1 pitch misses up and in. That evens the count at 1-1. The Knights will be back at it tomorrow night for the series finale against Walla Walla at 6:35, and then a couple of days off. The 1-1 pitch runs down and in, ball 2, 2-1. One nothing Sweets, top of the first inning. 2 balls and a strike to Andrew Graham. Logan Meyer, the on-deck hitter. Ethan Collins comes set. The 2-1 pitch taken for a strike. That's a big pitch to get on even terms and not put the pressure on himself with a 3-ball count. So, 2-2 to Andrew Graham. Nobody out, a run in. Runners at first and second. Peyton Knowles gets his lead from second. Ben Parker from first. The 2-2 breaking ball lifted to right field. Sam Stem started in. Now he moves back to make the catch. Peyton Knowles tags and motors to third base. So a nice job by Graham to get the runner moved. Logan Meyer to the plate with runners at the corners and 1 out. But in a sense, just as important, even though it does give the Sweets a chance to add a second run with an out, important for Ethan Collins to get his first out in the books. Pitching to contact, and Sam Stem able to make the grab. First and third, 1 out. The Knights infield will be a double play depth for the right-hand hitting Logan Meyer. Logan out of Ottawa, the University of Ottawa, and from Billings, Montana, checks his swing and taps the baseball slowly foul to Coach Charlo. The Knights occupying the third base dugout, the Gary Baker dugout. The Sweets in the Gene Tanzelli dugout on the first base side. 1-0 Walla Walla. Top of the first inning, runners at the corners, 1 out. The right-hander Ethan Collins comes set and comes back to the plate. Good breaking ball. A check swing, says the base umpire. And the count to Logan is quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Manny Casillas on deck. A pretty good Father's Day gathering coming in. A beautiful blend of traditions here today with dads and baseball and the Corvallis Knights here at home at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The strike 2 pitch, a breaking ball down, and the count 1-2. A little bit of rain, I hope, wasn't a deterrent for some of the folks that were planning on coming out today. It is on the cool side, unusually so for a Knights ball game, but fans still making their way in and settling in for baseball. The runners go, at least the runner from third goes, and the pitch is punched by Meyer into right field for a base hit. Peyton Knowles comes in to score, and Ben Parker, who was on the move, is able to cruise to third, and it's 2-0 Walla Walla here in the top of the first inning with runners at the corners again, and Manny Casillas, the hitter. The ability to go from first to third, Tim McCarver, the late great catcher, commentator, author, said it's as underrated as anything there is in the game of baseball. And with the runner Parker going, he was able to get to third easily and keep the pressure on. Again, Walla Walla with a chance to score a run with an out. They lead it 2-0 in the first. Manny Casillas takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch misses high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Brooke Knight is already getting a message delivered in the dugout that activity will begin back of Ethan Collins down in the Knights bullpen here shortly. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, while there's some scurrying around in the dugout and some people getting ready to head down, Collins still has a chance if he can throw a double play ball to minimize damage. And here's a ground ball towards the first baseman Avila. He goes to second for 1. The throw back to first is a wild one, but on the play coming in to score is Ben Parker. The Knights get the force out at second. That's 3 runs in the inning. With Blake Avila, I believe, thinking he had a chance to get a double play, which there was no shot at the ball hit that slowly. I did not see the disposition of the runner to know whether he had a chance to make a play back to third or at the plate or just run it to the bag and keep the runner checked. But once he made the decision to go to second, then it made it easy for Parker to come in and score. So 3 runs in the inning. Max Martin, the batter, change, swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike to Max. A 3-run first so far for Walla Walla. So this club belying its status coming into the series, last place in the league at 3-9. The strike 1 pitch to Martin, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. But a pretty impressive first inning after winning last night 8-4 for the visiting Swedes. No balls and 2 strikes. Ethan delivers down and away, and the count 1-2. The Swedes with an 8-run 6th inning last night. The 1-2 pitch, fastball missed. And the count goes to 2-2 to Max Martin. Davis Carr on deck. Ethan from the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. A ground ball to the right side. Moving to his left is Tate Shamau to field and throw to first to Blake Avila. And that retires the side, but the Sweets get off to a great start in their bid to win the series. They get 3 runs and 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first inning. The Sweets 3, the Knights coming up on the Knights live stream in 1240, Joe Radio. On this blustery Father's Day Sunday, we go to the bottom of the first inning. The Knights trailing 3-0 as they take their first looks at the left-hander for the Walla Walla Sweets, Haitaro Hayashi. He's loosening up with Davis Carr. And Hayashi getting ready to face Tyler Quinn, Sam Stem, and Ethan Hedges. Hayashi is 6 foot, 195-pound left-hander from Tokyo, competes at Phoenix College. I imagine that today in Phoenix is a little bit different than what we're experiencing here. Maybe 50 degrees difference. Tyler Quinn steps in against Hayashi, and the first pitch from Haitero is swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike to Tyler Quinn. Tyler, the designated hitter this afternoon. Sam Stem on deck. The quick working Hayashi back. The 0-1 off-speed pitch is swung on and missed. And Tyler quickly in a hole, 0-2. The Knights in an early 3-0 hole. No balls and 2 strikes to the Knights' leadoff hitter. Hayashi to the plate, lifted to left field. Going back on the ball is Gavin Ayers, still going back on the warning track. And the young man from Kennewick and Biola College chases it down. The ball carrying fairly well on this breezy Sunday out towards left center. But Gavin Ayers checked it and read it well and hauls it in. Batter is Sam Stem. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the first. 3-0 Walla Walla. Haitaro to the plate. Breaking ball strike. 0-1 the count. Sam Stem, a little bit of wiggle outside of the box. Climbs back in. And the 0-1 pitch fouled straight back. The count quickly 0-2. Hayashi and Davis Carr, the battery for the Sweets. Manny Casillas at first, Kennedy Hara at second, Peyton Knowles at short, Andrew Graham at third. The strike 2 pitch, strike 3 called. The ball dropped by the catcher Davis Carr. He gathers the ball up and tags out Stem. 2 down. And Ethan Hedges will be the hitter. In the outfield, we've mentioned Gavin Ayers. He's in left field for the Sweets. Logan Meyer in center. Max Martin in right. Hayashi's first pitch to Ethan misses low and inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes with 2 down and nobody on. 3-0 Walla Walla. The 1-0 pitch taken for a strike. 1-1 the count. The Knights learning some painful lessons here in terms of the damage that the freebies, those bases on balls, as Charlie Grimm used to lament. The 1-1 pitch, low and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Charlie Grimm, Joe Cronin, Leo DeRocher, Frankie Frisch, Herman Franks, and anybody that's ever managed or coached. Those bases on balls. The 2-1 pitch is high. They cost the Knights the ball game last night and certainly opened the door for a 3-run frame here in the first today. The pitch missing, 3-1 to Ethan Hedges. Blake Avila on deck. Hayashi delivers, hammered to left center field. Logan Meyer going back, and the ball carries over Logan's head to the base of the fence in right center field. Hedges pulls into second with a double. Meyer did not read that one quite as well as Ayers did on the ball that Tyler Quinn hit. And I think the ball did get up into the wind a bit and took off on Meyer, who thought he had it tracked and then suddenly found himself racing with the ball carrying over his head on a hop in deep left center. So the Knights with an opportunity to get on the board. And just from a psychological standpoint, after last night's rather desultory performance, an 8-4 defeat, it would be a tonic indeed for the Knights to get at least one back here, and the double gives them a chance. The pitch is in the turf. A big lead out at second by Ethan Hedges. He scrambles back, choosing not with 2 outs to try to make the final out at third. Stays put, a good decision. 1-0 to Blake Avila. 3-0 Walla Walla, bottom of the first inning, but the Knights with a chance to get one. Impressive swing by Ethan Hedges. And now Haitero Hayashi back to the plate. Avila takes another breaking ball in the turf, well blocked by Davis Carr. 2 balls and no strikes. Bree Miller believes that the Knights have had 1 game rained out in their history since moving here in 2007. The 2-0 pitch on the way, just low, ball 3, 3-0 to Avila. There have not been many days, nights, where we've dealt with precipitation. We had some earlier today. In-game precipitation, very rare. and only one rainout since the Knights moved here in '07. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Avila, taken for a strike, and the count 3-1. Ethan Hedges at second, 2 down. I remember as a youngster being astonished and greatly disappointed in 1967 when I went to tune in the Dodgers game at Dodger Stadium and heard the news that the Dodgers had been rained out for the first time in Dodger Stadium history that night. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Avila takes in the turf for ball 4. And Blake drawing the 2-out walk, giving Ethan Hott, the Knights' hottest hitter, a chance to do some damage. Ethan has averaged 2 RBIs in his first 4 games as a Corvallis Knight, so he stands in with 8 in his 4. Trying to pick up Ethan Hedges from second. Blake Avila, the runner at first. The first pitch to Ethan is a fastball strike. The count 0-1. I was only 9 years old at the time, listening to the pregame show on KFI 640 in the Southland, and was almost tearfully saying to my dad, "Dad, there's no game." They say there's no game. Ground ball off the end of the bat to Peyton Knowles, the shortstop. He throws a one-hopper that's dug out by Manny Casillas, and the inning is over. It never rains in Southern California, so sang Albert Hammond. But he was wrong. It did that night, and it broke my heart. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, 1 inning in. It's Walla Walla 3, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The beauty of pitching to contact. The first pitch from Ethan Collins, a soft pop-up to the shortstop. Tai Yukamoto catches it. Davis Carr out on 1 pitch, 1 away in the top of the second inning. 3-0 Walla Walla. Gavin Ayers, the batter, takes low and inside from Ethan. Collins back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch, a ground ball towards third. Ethan Hedges charges, gloves, and throws him out. There we go. Collins was in a little bit of trouble last inning, obviously, with the hit batter and the walk and the ensuing base hits. And Walla Walla plated 3. Brooke Knight was ready to get some activity going in the pen back of him, but Collins managed to get the last 2 outs of the inning, a run scoring on 1 of them. But here he is now with 2 outs and nobody on, and a chance to hang around a little bit longer. The pitch to Kennedy Hara misses low and inside. Kennedy was hit by a pitch to open the game and scored the first of 3 runs last inning. The 1-0 pitch, a check swing, but I believe he went around and swing indeed, says the base umpire. The count 1-1. And I can't believe that the first base coach, I think it's Anthony Murillo, is complaining about that. That was nearly a full hack by Hara, and Murillo seemed upset about it. The 1-1 pitch hit foul over our heads and out of play as we sit under the canopy provided by the crew from within the McGrath family press box earlier today. Thank you for setting it up so quickly and keeping the rain that we had earlier this morning away from all of the equipment. The 1-2 breaking ball is poked into left field, base hit. kind of left it up, did Ethan Collins and Kennedy Hara, a 2-out single to left, bringing Peyton Knowles to the plate. There are some youngsters here today that I see carrying books in. That's a beautiful sight to see. And I had mentioned one of the great books of all time earlier and did not remember the name of the author. And Amy Weiss, formerly Amy Storsbach, Amy's mother has provided that information. Thank you so much, Chris Storsbach, watching and listening in Oregon City. Informs yours truly that it was Virginia Lee Burton, 1942, the Caldecott winner, The Little House. What a great book indeed that is. Peyton Knowles fouling the first pitch back. No balls and 1 strike. I hope that that is still a book that your generation, your kids read. It is a beautiful book, and I was likening this ballpark to The Little House over the years. The strike 1 fastball just outside to Peyton Knowles, and the count 1-1. 3-0 Sweets, top of the second, and 2 outs and a man aboard. Kennedy Hara is that man. He's held on by Blake Avila. Ethan Collins delivers outside, ball 2, 2-1. Peyton walked and scored last inning. There are a couple of buildings that were here about the same time. Home plate set down where it's always been since 1907. The 2-1 fastball swung on and missed, making Goss Stadium at Coleman Field the oldest continuous ballpark in operation in the country. Waldo Hall also went up in 2007. That is behind the upper grandstand on the third base side. The 2-2 pitch toppled slowly foul back of the plate. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Peyton Knowles. So Waldo Hall might be a bit more analogous as a big building to our left to all of the growth that's gone on in the ensuing decade since 1907. The 2-2 pitch, fastball high, ball 3, 3-2 to Knowles. Kennedy Hara will take off on the pitch. Walla Walla ran its way impressively to a 3-run first. Now they have a chance for the runner, Kennedy Hara, to leave on this 3-2 pitch with 2 down. There he goes, the 3-2 pitch foul back. But if you had the proverbial time traveler, and Jack Finney's outstanding book I'm reading now, Time and Again by Jack Finney. Finney, the author of The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. What a great film with Kevin McCarthy. Anyway, Stephen King says Time and Again is the best time travel book ever. Another 3-2 pitch coming. It's high for ball 4. And Kennedy Hara on the move now stops at second. A walk to Peyton Knowles. Ben Parker, who singled home a run on the first pitch that he saw last inning, will come to the plate now with 2 on and 2 out. The Knights trailing 3-0. 2 quick outs in the inning for Ethan Collins. But Kennedy Hara, a single to left, now a walk to Knowles. And Collins dealing with traffic again now, trying to get the 3rd out. Out of the stretch works Collins, and the righty to the plate. Breaking ball in there for a strike. But if you took, and Finney posits returning to 1882 in a book he wrote circa 1970, Time and Again, but if you brought somebody from 1907, that individual would recognize nothing, not even within this ballpark. Except if you said this is where home plate was when you watched a game in 07, okay, he might be able to get with that. The strike 1 pitch, high and inside. And if you look back here, remember Waldo Hall. That might be the extent of things that still look the same. But the position of home plate, the same since 1907. That's incredible to me. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ben Parker. 2 on, 2 out, 3-0 Walla Walla in the second. Good breaking ball in there for a strike from Ethan. Collins trying to get through another troublesome inning. Last inning, the Sweets plated 3 with 2 outs, a single and a walk. 1-2 to Ben Parker. The 1-2 pitch, a check swing on an off-speed pitch in the turf, and the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out. Ben out of Los Altos, California, Los Altos High School, and played high school ball with our own Logan Casey. Ben attending William and Mary. 2-2 the count with 2 on and 2 down. The right-hander Collins delivers in the turf for ball 3, 3-2. Once again, the Sweets will be able to send the runners with a count 3-2 and 2 down. Kennedy Hara from second, Peyton Knowles from first. The wind whipping up and blowing out to left center field. Collins trying to stay in this ball game a little longer, delivers the 3-2 pitch, and this should keep him in the game a while. A high pop up to shallow center. Some miscommunication. The ball lands between Shamau and Ethan Hott, and 2-run score on a bloop single to left center field. With uncertainty between Hott and Shamau as to who was going to catch it. Too long of a run apparently for Hott. And the ball being pushed by the wind on Shamau. The Sweets score 2 and lead it 5-0. And just what has been, without question, the most unusual baseball I've seen from the Knights in consecutive games in their long and distinguished run as kings of the West Coast League. 9 championships, 6 in a row. Fastball from Ethan Collins in there for a strike to Andrew Graham. Collins had made an out pitch, certainly, but Ethan Hott with too much turf to cover. He was deep because of the wind, in a sense, with Parker up there, and then the wind also making it difficult for Shamau to chase the ball down in shallow left center. This ball hammered to left center field. Levi Jones and Hott go back. This one will short hop the wall in left center field. Ben Parker in to score easily, and Andrew Graham into second with a double. The Knights trail it 6-0 in the second inning. Back-to-back 3-run innings. That'll do it for Ethan Collins, with Ben Parker scoring on the double. And the Knights are down by 6, and we'll see a pitching change here with 2 outs in the second inning. That's it for Ethan Collins. The Knights will go to the bullpen and see if they can begin to turn things around a little bit here. They lost last night 8-4 and are down 6-0 to the club that came in last place in the South Division of the West Coast League. So good on Walla Walla. They're taking it to the hometown and 6-time defending champion Corvallis Knights. The Knights will go to the bullpen here. And coming out of the pen will be Jonathan Stone. I'm going to double and triple check that as we go here in the second. 6-0 Walla Walla. We'll take a 90-second pitching change break on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Six-seven right-hander Jonathan Stone takes over for the Corvallis Knights, with the Knights trailing 6-0 in the top of the second inning. Stone delivers to Logan Meyer, who had an RBI single last inning and misses down and away. Andrew Graham, an RBI double to left. The 1-0 pitch misses down and away. The Knights looked as though they were going to get out of the inning unscathed, but a pop-up in the wind fell between Ethan Hott, the center fielder, Tate Shamau, the second baseman. 2 runs scored on the plate. Fastball up and in, and Jonathan Stone is behind the count. 3 balls and no strikes to Logan Meyer. The 3-0 pitch, down and away, ball 4. Manny Casillas will be the hitter. The one thing that we know of a certainty, and we've seen, Brooks Hatch and I were talking about this before the game today. Brooks, the longtime media relations director, and writes all the game stories, keeps score. He's seen as much Knights baseball as anyone, along with Bree and Dan and a select few others. The pitch to Manny Casillas, low and inside, ball 1. He said there have been summers, championship summers, where the Knights have gotten off to kind of rocky starts. This appears as though it's another one. The pitch to Casillas is blasted to right field, gone. A 3-run home run for Manny Casillas. And I think we can safely say this looks like another one of those unusually rough starts for the Corvallis Knights. A 3-run home run for Casillas, a line drive missile to right field, and Walla Walla leads it 9-0. And remember, this was an inning where there were 2 quick outs, and it felt to me in those moments as though all things were going to be well, and that all manner of things would be well. With apologies to Lady Julian of Norwich and T.S. Eliot. I like the phrase and the saying because it strikes me that that's the first pitch change, swung on and missed by Max Martin, 0-1 the count. Lady Julian and Eliot and others, and C.S. Lewis, George McDonald, I think, have used it too. The strike 1 pitch from Jonathan is low in the count, 1-1. It's something that I believe, and what grounds do you have? Well, I have grounds to believe that in the end, all manner of things shall be well. So the 1-1 pitch hit foul off to the left and out of play. As tough and as difficult and challenging and miserable as it all can be. Now, this is just a baseball game wherein you trail 9-0. I'm not saying all manner of things will be well in this game itself. It probably not. The 1-2 pitch outside, ball 2, 2-2. But this team, in the smaller sense of what I'm talking about, will be fine, as they always have been through the years. They're just going through a patch that is most unusual for longtime Knights fans and fans who have gotten a little spoiled. I think we all have, accustomed to the championship level baseball. 6 straight years will get you feeling that way. Another foul straight back by Max Martin. Now he swings and it's a little nubber back towards Stone. Jonathan throws to first to retire Martin. The inning is over. Great credit to Walla Walla. 2 outs, nobody on. 2 outs, nobody on to open the inning. And they score 6. We go to the bottom of the second. Walla Walla 9, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the second inning, 9-0 Walla Walla. And I just heard Bobby Merwin do a nice job as a public address announcer, as he always does. He said, let's get behind the guys. And, usually don't hear that kind of cheerleading from the PA, but I get it. Levi Jones swings at the first pitch, but in keeping with the day, he hits it hard, but he hits it right at Logan Meyer. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tate Shamau will be the hitter. Levi Jones lining out to center field. Bottom of the second, 9-0 Walla Walla. Tate Shamau at the plate. Itaro Hayashi works out of the stretch with nobody on. His first pitch bounces off the shin guards of his battery mate, Davis Carr. 1 ball and no strikes to Tate. Hayashi back to the plate. The 1-0 pitch is sprayed foul beyond Casey corner in the Omaha room. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Hayashi with a 9-run lead to the plate. This one's lifted down the right field line, foul. The wind will push today, and the ball does land on the railing down on Casey corner in the deep right field corner. But the wind will be pushing action, the baseball, back toward the field of play, and Max Martin out in right field will need to be wary of that. Not give up on some of those balls hit in the air to right. 1-2 the count with 1 out. Hayashi back to the plate, swung on and fouled straight back. This is Father's Day. I was reading about events on Father's Day in baseball history, and naturally with Father's Day coming at this time of year in June every year, there are some major events, which included the St. Louis Cardinals rallying from an 11-0 deficit once on Father's Day to win a game. So there is that precedent on this special day. 9-0 Walla Walla here in the second. The pitch is swung on and fouled back by Tate Shamau. 1-2 the count. The greatest event on Father's Day in baseball history, just in terms of an individual accomplishment. Jim Bunning, a perfect game on Father's Day in 1964 for the Phillies against the New York Mets at Shea Stadium. The pitch on the way to Shamau pulled foul, and the count 1-2. Bouton's family settled into their seats. He had young kids at the time, but they had made the trip to New York from Philly in 64, and the youngsters were enamored with all of the sights and sounds and the shopping, and Jim's daughters didn't really want to show up, and Mom made them, and they got to see their dad throw the perfect game. Father's Day 1964, the 1-2 pitch missing, and the count 2-2. Oh, those were the halcyon days for the Phillies in 64, right? I ran into a guy this morning in a coffee shop downtown in Corvallis, a guy older than me with a Philadelphia Phillies T-shirt on. The 2-2 pitch to Shamau ripped into left field on a hop in front of Gavin Ayers. So the Knights get their second hit. They need a lot more of them, but maybe, just maybe, the spirit of the Cardinals on Father's Day can come to life for the Knights this afternoon. Tyler Howard, the batter, 9-0 Walla Walla in the second. This gentleman had a kind of a really tattered old Philadelphia Phillies shirt that looked like it might have been around since 64. The pitch on the way to Howard, a strike. I knew the guy had just by looking at him. And so I brought up when the barista asked what I wanted to drink, I said, well, right now I'm not thinking about my order. I'm thinking about the Phillies of 64. The strike one pitch hit foul to the right. The count 1-1, and this total stranger unto me. But when you're talking baseball, they're really, you're into immediate fellowship. And this guy said, 64, don't bring that up. I'm still hurting over it. And I believed him. He is. No balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Howard. Off speed, hit foul to our right and into Urchin Alley. And there are urchins gathered, as they probably would have gathered outside of Connie Mack to get autographs signed by Bunning and Short, and Larry Jackson, Richie Allen, Johnny Callison. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 9-0 Walla Walla. The strike 2 pitch from Hayashi misses low. 1-2 the count. But this guy said that he and his brother and his dad would drive down They live about an hour north of Philly, but would drive down and go to Connie Mack and went to games that fateful year of 1964. A throw to first base, Tate Shamau back to the bag. When Bunning threw his perfect game, the Phillies were all the rage in baseball. Father's Day of 64, perfect game, and they rose to heights. 6.5 game lead with 12 to play for the National League pennant. Began to print World Series tickets. This stranger whom I met this morning told me he had a friend who actually has in a scrapbook printed tickets for the World Series in 64 that never happened. The 1-2 pitch to Howard missing. 2-2 the count. Hayashi comes back. The 2-2 pitch hit foul into the Omaha room stands. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with Tate Shamau at first. The Knights trailing 9-0 in the bottom of the second. The ignominious collapse of the Phillies in 64, one of the things you learn about the cruelty of the game as a young fan. The 2-2 pitch to Howard fouled back and the count 2-2. I remember 2 things about the Phillies in those days. Richie Allen getting booed and the collapse in 64. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a ground ball to the second baseman, Kennedy Hara. He will go to second for 1, on to first, not in time. Tyler Howard able to avert the double play, getting down the line on the fielder's choice, 4-6, but a good try on the part of Hara and Peyton Knowles. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. I remember my hero listening to a Dodger-Philly game in 66 from Connie Mack as a 7-year-old, discovering baseball in that season of 66. The pitch on the way to Yukamoto, fastball high, ball 1, 9-0 Sweets, bottom of the second. And Vin Scully would, here's Richie Allen coming to the plate, and the fans and Connie Mack booing him relentlessly. And Scully trying to explain the why and the wherefore. I don't really remember how Vinny tried to account for it. The 1-0 pitch, low, ball 2, 2-0, but all of that just created an interest. Why are they booing him? Well, the 64 collapse was part of it. The 2-0 pitch on the way, a strike, and the count 2-1. I think there had been some sort of altercation with Frank Thomas or a trade or something that just somehow rendered Richie almost a scapegoat for part of the collapse in 64, although it was Gene Mauch that panicked and pitched short and Bunning too often on short rest. A ground ball to second, fielded by Hara. He underhands to Peyton Knowles for the force at second, and the Knights are gone in the second inning. Walla Walla rolling along here on this Father's Day Sunday afternoon, but the Philly fans would rather remember Jim Bunning's perfecto on Father's Day back in the day than what happened in September, losing 10 straight, and those World Series tickets were useless. The Knights are gone in the second, no runs, a hit, 1 left. After 2, Walla Walla 9, the Knights nothing. On the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Miles Gastola is the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights. Wearing number 4, but listed on our roster as number 19. So thank you for the quick work back in our McGrath Family Press Box studios with our crew, Thomas Rudolph, Casey Lavin, and Andrew Henderson, getting the accurate information from Brooks Hatch that there's a uniform switch, and Miles Gastola, from Gonzaga, is the new pitcher, and he's wearing number 4, not number 19. But Gastola is in, and the lefty's first pitch missing down and away to Davis Carr. 9-0 Walla Walla, top of the third. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Gastola coming right at Carr, who popped to short to lead off last inning on the first pitch of the inning. Unfortunately, not the harbinger. The 2-1 pitch misses for ball 3, 3-1. Gastola getting the ball back and ready to go. The lanky lefty delivers a 3-1 pitch rolled slowly toward Hedges. Ethan charges, gloves, throws a one-hopper dug out by Blake Avila. Nice play. Good pick by Blake, and another nice job at third by Ethan Hedges. Ethan played first base almost exclusively for USC this past spring, and I visited with Ethan on our pregame show about his work with the Trojans. The pitch on the way from Gastola to Ayers swung on and missed. Gastola working so quickly that Hedges had barely gotten back into position at third when Gastola fired the pitch to Ayers, and now Miles ready to go again, and the strike one pitch swung on and fouled back in the count 0-2. But Hedges showing a real aptitude, I think, for playing the hot corner. Yeah, I like the versatility the young man is showing. The strike 2 pitch swung on and missed. Looked like Gastola may have turned it over a little bit, something off speed, and down goes Gavin Ayers. Miles Gastola with back-to-back outs to open the third, just as last inning began. 2 outs, nobody on. 6 runs later, Walla Walla had upped its lead to 9-0. So Gastola hoping for a different outcome this time around, but he hits Kennedy Hara with the first pitch that he throws, and you almost have that uh-oh feeling, something that the Knights themselves will probably have to fight against. After losing yesterday 8-4, trailing this one 9-0. If anything, quote-unquote, gets off schedule, you worry about it having a bit of a snowball effect. So we'll see if Gastola can shut the door now on Peyton Knowles, who's been up twice, walked twice, and scored twice in the first 2 innings of the game. And here in the third, he's up again, and he takes low and away, ball 1. 3 in the first for the Sweets, 6 in the second. And now a 2-out hit batter. Gastola from the stretch delivers a fly ball to center field right at Ethan Hott. Ethan makes the catch, and a much better outcome for the Knights in the third. Miles Gastola, a 2-out hit batsman, nothing more after 2.5. Walla Walla 9, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning, 9-0, Walla Walla. For the Knights, the top of the order coming up, Tyler Quinn, Sam Stem, and Ethan Hedges against Sweets left-hander Haitaro Hayashi. The first pitch to Quinn is lifted to center field, but Logan Meyer is right there, and he puts that away. One pitch, one gone. Sam Stem, who struck out looking in the first, will come to the plate. Bingo night tomorrow night here. Bingo for prizes throughout the ball game will be on the air at 6:20, 6:35 first pitch. The Knights and Walla Walla to wrap up the series. The Girding Builders Market Men. The next game for the Knights thereafter on Thursday night. The first pitch to Sam Stem from Hayashi in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Stem, the left-handed hitter, awaiting Haitaro, and the strike one pitch outside. 1-1 to Sam. Ethan Hedges on deck on this cool, cloudy Father's Day afternoon in Corvallis. The 1-1 breaking ball up, ball two. 2-1. Haitaro from the stretch with nobody on. This one's lifted to shallow center. Going out is the shortstop, Peyton Knowles. He calls and drops the ball. Knowles very upset with himself after dropping it. He picks the ball up and spikes it on the turf out in shallow center field. And Peyton Knowles, perhaps, we'll see. It hasn't been the Knights' weekend so far. Their series has been out of character altogether, losing last night 8-4 and trailing this one 9-0. But perhaps an error and just a slight opening of the door can get something going. Here's Ethan Hedges, who doubled to left center field in the first. He takes low and inside, ball one, 1-0. Between innings, and it was good to hear, the players through the years have come to know, love, respect, admire Yoongjin Yoon, the outstanding assistant coach. The 1-0 pitch to Ethan hit foul into Urchin Alley to the right. The count 1-1. His was the lone voice that I could hear from the Knights dugout. After the Knights came in off the field, after Miles Gostola had put up the 0, Coach Yoon, I could hear him from up here, even under the canopy. Come on, guys, let's get it going. And the pitch to Hedges, whacked to center, base hit. Sam Stem stops at second. Blake Avila will come to the plate. But I think what Coach Yoon was addressing was just, hey, let's don't capitulate on this one. We're only in the third inning. I mean, I don't think he phrased it exactly that way, but he was trying to fire the guys up and keep their spirits up and make sure that everybody was still together in spite of the rocky start to this one, down 9-0 in the third. Blake Avila is hit on the top of the helmet by Haitaro Hayashi to load up the bases with one out. And Ethan Hott will be the hitter. Avila walking slowly down to the bag. I think he's okay. Stunned, certainly not hurt. Let's at least he's not receiving any attention from within the Knights dugout, nor does he stop and visit with Ed Nags. But to get hit on the helmet has to be a jarring thing in one's world. Thank heaven for the advent of batting helmets. It's still unbelievable to me that for so many decades helmets didn't really exist, and they weren't even mandatory until the mid-'70s in Major League Baseball. You see some of those old photographs of Willie and Henry, and prior to that, the Bambino and Cobb and all of those guys. No helmet, just up there with their caps on. Well, I'm sure Blake Avila grateful that he had his helmet on as he gets hit off the top of it. Manny Casillas, who hit a 2-run home run earlier, and Blake Avila comparing notes. Casillas, the first baseman, playing even with the bag at first. A visit to the hill to Hayashi, and now the batter is Ethan Hott, and he swings and pokes one into center field for a base hit. Coming in to score is Sam Stem, and the Knights are on the board. On an RBI single for Ethan Hott, who now has 9 RBIs as a Corvallis Knight. Sam Stem coming in to score. Ethan Hedges to third. Blake Avila to second. Levi Jones the batter. And indeed, the error could be the spark in Young Jin Yoon's rhetoric. We'll see if the Knights can string together another hit or two and get themselves back in this game. A line drive to left field. Back on it goes Gavin Ayers to the warning track to make the catch. Tagging is Ethan Hedges and will score. Levi Jones with a sacrifice fly to left field. And the Knights now trail it 9-2, but have indeed shown some signs of life in the inning. The batter will be Tate Shamau. Tyler Quinn made out on the first pitch of the inning, but the Knights have come back. An error on the drop pop-up in shallow center, putting Sam Stem aboard. Ethan Hedges a base hit. Blake Avila hit by a pitch. Ethan Hott a base hit. Levi Jones a sacrifice fly. And now Shamau, who doubled in the second, takes low, ball one. 9-2 Walla Walla. But the Knights with 2 on and 2 out, trying to keep things going. Coach Charlo went out and had a visit with Hayashi after the hit batter. And there is a right-hander throwing in the Walla Walla Sweets bullpen. The 1-0 pitch missing, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Hayashi works out of the stretch. Hitero with 2 on and 2 out comes with a 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike. 2-1 to Tate Shamau. On this cloudy, cool, and breezy Sunday afternoon, the Knights getting on the board and trying to stay after Hayashi. Here's a soft liner right at the third baseman, Andrew Graham, who makes the catch, and the Knights settle for 2, but the good news is they get 2 and take advantage of the error that opened the door. 2 runs on 2 hits in the inning, an error and 2 left. At the end of 3, Walla Walla 9, the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on this Father's Day Sunday afternoon, it's been mostly Walla Walla. The Knights showing some signs of life, offensively scoring 2 runs. And now Miles Gostola, trying to be a trendsetter, a change setter, works on Ben Parker. Ben leading things off. It was Gostola who put up the 0, and then the Knights responded with 2. 9 runs, 6 hits, an error for Walla Walla. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Swedes. And Gostola has jumped ahead of Ben Parker. No balls and 2 strikes here in the top of the 4th. Ben Parker, Andrew Graham, and Logan Meyer against Gaztola. Miles to the plate, the strike 2 pitch missing. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gaztola back to the plate and bounces the 1-2 pitch. Miles new to the roster, and I have not had a chance to research him yet. Did not know that he was coming or going to be ready to go, and so I'm going to have to, on the fly here, try to learn some things about this good-looking Gonzaga left-hander. Gaztola back to the plate. Out of Tom Hewitt country, West Seattle High School. The 3-2 pitch tapped foul, and that got a piece of the Knights catcher, Tyler Howard, who drops to his knees just to the right of the left-handed batter's box. Wow, boy, that one really stung for Tyler. Gaztola out of West Seattle High and on his way to Gonzaga, one of the more decorated lefties out of the state of Washington over the last 10 years. And I can see why. Good-looking stuff. He has fallen from 0-2 to 3-2 to Ben Parker. Comes to the plate in the 3-2 pitch, a ground ball to the left of Yukamoto from behind the bag, throws to first, not in time, and pulled Avila off the bag anyway. Ben Parker, a leadoff single. Ben can run, and Yukamoto hesitated just a bit, trying to get the ball out of his glove from behind the bag at second base, and that hesitation cost him any chance of getting an out. The batter will be Andrew Graham. Thank you. The pitch to Andrew, fastball low, ball 1. Thank you, Brooks. Brooks Hatch has brought a report of former Corvallis Knights to our outdoor perch. Stephen Kwan went 2 for 2. A 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs for the Guardians today. Stephen among many outstanding former Corvallis Knights. The pitch to Graham swung on and missed, and the count 1-1. Adley 1 for 5 with a double. Kwan evidently had a 2-run triple. The pitch on the way misses outside, ball 2, 2-1 to Graham. Matt Duffy 1 for 3 for Kansas City. Well, thank you for that report, Brooks. The 2-1 pitch from Gaztola is high, ball 3, 3-1. Here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, 9-2, Walla Walla in the 4th. Gaztola's 3-2 pitch is fouled into the netting. It was on the trajectory to come back here right into, under the canopy, into our broadcast vantage point. But the net prevented it. I had a pretty good read on it, I think, and would have been able to make the play. The 3-2 pitch on the way is just outside, ball 4. Ben Parker down to second base. Andrew Graham drawing the walk. Now Logan Meyer, who singled home a run and walked, will come to the plate for the Sweets. 9-2, Walla Walla in the 4th. Miles Gaztola and Tyler Howard, the battery. Blake Avila at first, Tate Shimao at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Ethan Hedges at third, Levi Jones in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stam in right. The first pitch from Gaztola misses high, ball 1, 1-0. One ball and no strikes. I did have some notes on Miles after all, but I had him on as number 19. He's wearing 4. Still trying to get fully familiar with the roster. The 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2, 2-0. An infield single and a walk, now 2-0 to Meyer. Gaztola needs a strike. The Knights trail at 9-2. Can ill afford to dig the hole any deeper. The 2-0 pitch on the way, and he gets a strike. Swung on and missed by Meyer. The count 2-1. But the start to the inning will lead to some activity behind Gonzola. Jacob Russell heading down to the Knights bullpen. The pitch on the way to Meyer is hit foul, heading towards the front row Balls rarely sneak in there below the McGrath family press box, just above the Jack Riley concourse. And a souvenir for a fan. She tosses it to a youngster. Good decision. And the count goes to 2-2. Gostola working with battery mate Tyler Howard. Comes with a 2-2 pitch, a chopper up along third, foul. The count remains 2-2 to Logan Meyer. Gostola and Howard the battery. Blake Avila at first, Tate Shimau at second, Tai Yukamoto at short, Ethan Hedges at third, Levi Jones in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stem in right. Gostola with 2 on and nobody out. The 2-2 pitch taken a little bit low. Ball 3-2. Catcher Tyler Howard trying to frame that up, and the home plate umpire felt the pitch was low and stayed low. 3-2. Parker at second, Graham at first, nobody out. The right-hand hitting Logan Meyer waiting, and now time called. Logan Meyer asking for time and backs out, and the home plate umpire making a notation of that. With the sun trying hard on this Sunday afternoon to break through just a bit. Still very cool. Boy, that is a long time to take for a batter asking for time to back out, and to write it all down, issue the warning, and just there's got to be a more efficient way than what we just saw. I mean, that took over 30 seconds. The desire to speed up these games. It took longer to tell us about a guy asking for time than it did to actually just take time, step out, and step back in. 3-2 the count. Gostola with a long hold. And the 3-2 pitch is swung on and tapped foul. Out at second base, Ben Parker was tapping his wrist, the phantom wristwatch, as though a pitch clock violation should have been called on Gostola. Miles set a very quick tempo last inning, and now is ready to go again quickly here. The 3-2 pitch is just outside to load him up. Manny Casillas, who blasted a 2-run home run in just above the fence and straightaway right in the second, comes to the plate now. With the bases loaded and nobody out. And Walla Walla leading 9-2 and looking to add on here. Much to the, I wouldn't say displeasure. It's too nice of an event today. And the sun's breaking through. It's Father's Day. You're at the ballpark. You can't be too miserable, right? The pitch to Casillas swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. But it has not been a pleasant afternoon of baseball for the Knights so far. They trail it 9-2, and the Sweets have the bases loaded and nobody out in the fourth. The Knights bring their infield in. The strike one pitch is fouled at the plate by Casillas. 0-2 the count. But Brooke Knight and his club trying to turn things around and thus bring the infield in, hoping to cut down Parker on a ground ball at a force at the plate. 0-2 to Manny Casillas. Gostola to the plate, swung on and hit fair, stepping on the plate for one. A double play has been recorded. The Knights with a chance for a triple play, and they get it, and the inning is over. A triple play. Casillas hit a little nubber fair. Tyler Howard stepped on the plate, tagged out Meyer, and then was able to trap Logan Meyer between first and second. A triple play. The first I remember with the Corvallis Knights through the years, and the inning is over. Walla Walla was in a position to break the game wide open, and the Knights turn a triple play. 2 outs recorded by the catcher, Tyler Howard. We'll get the scoring on the other out, but I believe it went 2-3-6 for a triple play. Maybe the first, in fact, the first I've seen with the Knights. I saw one with the Oregon State Beavers in this ballpark against the Portland Pilots back around 2000 or 2001. the inning is over. The Sweets hitters are wanting to stay at the plate, but they're done. The inning's over. Triple play, inning over. Go take the field. That's that. Whether the call was completely accurate or not, there's nothing more that can be done without recourse to replay. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. A triple play ends a huge threat for Walla Walla. And the Knights hope to take some life from that as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It's still Walla Walla 9 and the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the fourth inning, 9-2. The Corvallis Knights trail it, but that's not the good news. It certainly could have been worse. Walla Walla left-hander Hitaro Hayashi delivers a first pitch to Knights catcher Tyler Howard, who just recorded 2 of the 3 outs on an unusual triple play. And swings at the first pitch, does Tyler. Sends a fly ball to left, caught by Gavin Ayers. 1 away. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. Tai takes high, ball 1. Hayashi back to the plate. Fastball in there for a strike. Brooks Hatch is bringing over to me the official version of the triple play. The 1-1 pitch, lifted foul down the left field line and out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. Now, I'm asking you, Brooks, 6-6 for Walla Walla. The hitter was arguing, Ben Parker, that he should have been called safe. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. That slapped into left field for a base hit by Tai Yukamoto. And the Knights getting a 1-out single, and the batter will be Tyler Quinn. So the first 2 outs were 2 unassisted, and then the catcher, Tyler Howard, just made 1 throw to the shortstop. So a triple play, 2U, 2U, 2-6. Okay, now, what was for? He stepped on the plate and then tagged the. Yeah. So why? Right, and that was the right call. If you call it a fair ball, whether it was fair or not, we'll forget that for a moment. Let's just, for argument's sake, I don't know why Ben Parker lingered as long as he did, thinking that he should have been called safe. Go ahead.
I think the ball swung, it was a foul ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he swung, it went down, it hit behind the plate, but then it
rolled forward. Yes.
That's a fair ball.
Fair ball. It looked like it was fair in the batter's box. Yeah.
Like almost a foot in front of home.
Stepped on the plate. That put Ben Parker out coming from third. The batter then was tagged out for the second out. Yeah.
And then we had to tag the guy there.
Yes.
The fourth play was
Right.
off at first base.
So, as long as you call that a foul ball, a fair ball, I'm sorry, which it was, right. No, I think it was right. I agree. It was bizarre, but right. Thank you, Brooks. Brooks Hatch, the official score, 2 unassisted, 2-6, a play you'll never see again. You won't. I promise you. Yeah. If you do see it again, please look me up. The 3-1 pitch on the way here, a line drive into right center field, a sliding catch by Logan Meyer. He throws back to first, not in time. In fact, the ball goes by Manny Casillas, but backed up by Davis Carr. Good catch by Meyer out in center. Tyler Quinn hit it well, but he's an out. 2 down, and Sam Stem, the batter. I just didn't understand at all why Ben Parker was lingering as long as he did. He spent the entire inning arguing that he should have been called safe. And he was easily out once you determine that the ball was called fair. That might have been an issue for the Sweets runners, hitters, and so on. Sam Stem takes a strike in the count 0-1. But Tyler Howard took that fair ball, stepped on the plate. So Ben Parker's out. That's without question. And then the hitter who hit the ball into the triple play, Manny Casillas, Howard tagged him. So that puts Casillas out, right? So what was Ben Parker arguing so much about? He was out once Knights catcher Tyler Howard stepped on the plate for the force. The 1-1 pitch to Stem hit foul to the left and out of play, and the count 1-2. But Parker just lingered, argued. He's the designated hitter. He didn't have to take the field, but he was clearly out. That was about the only thing in the play that was absolute. Step on the plate, you got a force there. Then the tag applied. That was easily readable. The pitch to Stem is hit high and deep to right field. Back on the ball, chasing it down in the corner is Max Martin. He can't get it. Rounding third, and on his way to the plate to score is Ty Yukamoto, and Stem into third with a triple. And the Knights draw a little closer at 9-3, and a well-struck ball into the alley in right center. That'll bring Ethan Hedges to the plate. Hedges has doubled and singled, and a chance with a 2-out hit to cut it to 9-4. So the Knights, in the spirit of Father's Day Cardinals back in the day, trying to rally. The Cardinals overcame an 11-0 deficit to win a Major League ball game. And now the Knights, who were down 9-0, a long way to go still, but it's gone from 9-0 to 9-3, and a 2-out hit would make it 9-4. Ethan Hedges takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Ethan looking for his third hit of the day. Haitaro Hayashi back to the plate. Swung on and lined into right field, base hit. Stem trots home, rounding first is Hedges. Ethan on his way for 2, and he's in with a double. He's 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single, and it is now 9-4, Walla Walla. Well, I suppose a triple play, if it's going to have an effect, it should be one of inspiration, since you don't see them very often. And the Knights have fought back to score 2 more. And we'll see a pitching change, it would appear, here in the bottom of the 4th with Blake Avila, the scheduled hitter. And that's going to do it for Haitaro Hayashi, who pitched well, but the Knights getting 2 runs in the 3rd. They've added 2 more in the 4th. The wind blows our new pitcher's cap off out in right field, and I can understand why, because the wind, as you may be able to hear, is indeed whipping up. We're going to see a new pitcher coming in out of the bullpen for Walla Walla. They don't have a number 19 on their roster, at least in the one that was submitted. Let's see if we can find one elsewhere. We do. It looks like we've got somebody with the last name of Henderson coming in. We'll try to find out just which Henderson this is. Oh, it's Jackson. I did find a 19. Jackson Henderson, Jaxon, takes over here in the bottom of the 4th. The Knights have scored 2 more to pull within 5 at 9-4. 90-second pitching change break. Jackson Henderson in for Haitaro Hayashi as the Knights hope to keep fighting back. 9-4 Walla Walla back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Jackson Henderson to Blake Avila outside, ball one. Ethan Hedges at second, 2 down, bottom of the fourth. 9-4 Walla Walla. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Wow, this is, I don't know what the winds show now. I don't know if Thomas or anybody, Casey, Andrew, can look that up. I've got too many other things going on and trying to batten them down in this crazy wind. And it's blowing stuff all over. The pitch to Avila, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. Gusting and whipping and temperatures dropping. Hard to believe this is June 18th, but so it is. But the Knights trying to keep a comeback going. They were down 9-0, now 9-4. Jackson Henderson delivers to Avila. Blake gets a little piece of it to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Knights have scored 2 in the inning after plating 2 last inning, spotting Walla Walla 9. But now a long way to go and just trying to keep chipping away at that 9-0 deficit. Avila fouls one back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Blake, who has walked and been hit by a pitch. Jackson Henderson out of the bullpen. 6'1", 200-pounder from Snohomish, Earl Averill Country, Columbia Basin Community College. The 1-2 pitch, Avila pops it foul above the Knights dugout down the third base side. The count remains 1-2 to Blake. Ethan Hott on deck. A single, a triple, and a double in the inning have drawn the Knights a little bit closer. From 9-0 to 9-4, now Avila looking for a clutch 2-out hit to plate Hedges. The 1-2 pitch is pulled foul down the right field line in the corner. So the Knights turning a triple play, and in fact, it looked like, quite honestly, a knockout punch of sorts could have been delivered by Walla Walla in the top of this inning. Bases loaded, nobody out, up 9-2. And the next thing you know, 3 outs, the inning over. Avila takes a fastball high, ball 2, 2-2. A triple play. 2 unassisted, 2-6. Tyler Howard initiating the triple play with some alert defense. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called to retire the side. The Knights get 2 back. Jackson Henderson gets the final out. 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 left. And at the end of 4, Walla Walla 9, the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 5th inning, Max Martin with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Miles Gostola, nothing to this game, has put up 2 zeros. The 1-1 pitch is low, ball 2, 2-1, easy game. Robert Wool, easy game, nice easy game. 2-1 pitch is low for ball 3. That from Bull Durham. And another Costner film captures the essence of Father's Day. The 3-1 pitch, a fly ball to left field. Levi Jones hesitated, didn't get a good read, plays it on a hop, and a ball that I think should have been caught lands in front of Levi Jones for a base hit. Tough start to the inning after the Knights had scored 2, kind of getting the momentum rolling. Give up a base hit to open the top of the 5th. The wind blowing out, I think Levi a bit chary of that and didn't break quickly in on the ball. He needed to catch it. It lands in front of him. Davis Carr takes a strike. The quick working Miles Gostola, with a little help from his battery mate, put up a 0 last inning, working now here in his 3rd inning of work. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. He's ahead to Davis Carr, 0-2. And the quick working lefty's fastball just misses, 1-2 the count. Boy, that's a quick tempo from Gostola. That slowed way down in the plate appearance with Logan Meyer and then picked up in the form of a triple play against Casillas. Gostola delivers, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Davis Carr strikes out. Gavin Ayers to the plate. Ayers is grounded to second and struck out. The Field of Dreams picture still cited by some of the guys as you look at favorite movies from some of these ball players in the West Coast League. That comes up from time to time. Here's a pop-up to shallow left. Yukamoto going out. Levi Jones coming in. Yukamoto, the shortstop, stays with it. Makes the catch. 2 down. And Kennedy Hara will be the batter. That entire film seems to be, in a whole sense, it all builds towards the final image, the beautiful final image. Donald Hall's excellent book, Fathers Playing Catch with Sons. I was mentioning all the wonderful literature in the game of baseball yesterday, Roger Angel and others, but Donald Hall contributed as well with a book entitled, and the title itself, gorgeous, Fathers Playing Catch with Sons. There goes Martin. The 1-0 pitch is outside. The throw to second is not in time, and Max Martin in with a stolen base. 2 balls and no strikes, meanwhile, to Kennedy Hara. I believe the home plate umpire called that ball, too. There is a conversation now between Hara and the home plate arbiter. But it is 2-0 to Kennedy Hara, who has a chance to drive in a run with 2 down. The 2-0 fastball swung on and missed. The count, 2 balls and 1 strike. It is indeed 2-1 confirmed by the home plate umpire to the hitter, Kennedy Hara. 9-2 Walla Walla in the 5th. Gostola back to the plate. Fastball and a good one. Swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. Martin at second, 2 down. Seemed as though the whole cornfield, build it and he will come, all of that was meant for a dad to have a catch with a son. It is a beautiful, poignant moment. Whether you buy into the whole, I don't think ball players can come out of a cornfield. The 2-2 pitch, a ground ball back up the middle. The Knights had a bit of a shift on. The ball played by the second baseman, Shimao, with Yukamoto moving up the middle. Shimao has no play anywhere, but he did keep the ball from going through. A ground ball that appeared to be routine, but with the Knights' defensive disposition, the second baseman, Shimao, crossing over to the left side to backhand and keep the ball from going through. That prevents a run. It is an infield single for Kennedy Hara. Max Martin into third. Runners at the corners with 2 down for Peyton Knowles. But if you have a willing suspension of disbelief, then you can perhaps buy the idea that in the end, Kevin Costner played catch with his dad. Spoiler alert. Breaking ball strike and the count 0-1, which I think was even more amazing and touching for him than I'm playing catch or I'm throwing batting practice to shoeless Joe Jackson. The strike 1 pitch to Knowles in the turf. Good block by Tyler Howard. 1-1 the count. 9-4 Sweets, top of the 5th inning. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Gostola from the stretch and comes back to the plate. Fastball foul back, and Miles is a strike away from getting through the inning. He was last inning, or to the last batter, I should say, as well. Kennedy Hara managed to get a scratch infield single. And now Gostolo hoping to finish off the Sweets here in the 5th. 1-2 to Knowles, delivers to Payton. Breaking ball pulled, foul. In front of the Sweets dugout. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on this cool, blustery, 59-degree, 12-mile-per-hour wind day. Father's Day 2023. The 1-2 pitch to Knowles. A line drive down the left field line. Foul by about 6 inches. Amy has brought me a cup of ice to help get me through the afternoon. Thank you, Amy. Storsbach, now Amy Weiss. Sean's mom, and Sean and Casey and grandparents Gary and Sylvia are here. Thank you for that. And again, thanks to Chris for identifying the great Little House from 1942. Virginia Lee Burton. The pitch on the way, a ground ball to first, right at Blake Avila. Steps on the bag, and the inning is over. Not without a little trouble along the way. Gostolo's put up 3 straight zeros. And we go to the bottom of the 5th with the Sweets leaving 2, Walla Walla 9, the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 5th, slider strike from Jackson Henderson to Ethan Hott. 9-4 Walla Walla. Ethan is grounded to short and singled home a run. The strike 1 pitch from Jackson on the outside corner. Strike 2. Brooke Knight doesn't think so, nor does Ethan Hott. A pretty good frame job by Davis Carr. No balls and 2 strikes to Ethan. The strike 2 pitch missing down, ball 1, 1-2. Ethan Hott, Levi Jones, and Tate Shamau, the scheduled hitters for the Knights in the 5th, trailing 9-4, but it once was 9-0. Hott swings and sends one to right center field. Logan Meyer and Max Martin come together. It's the center fielder, Logan Meyer, to put it away. One away, and Levi Jones, who has lined to center field for an out and had a sacrifice fly, comes to the plate. Incoming freshman to the Beaver baseball program will participate in the All-Star Series next weekend. The first pitch missing. I think I've been saying it was going to be during the days off. It's not. The All-Star Series coming up next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. 6A, 5A players north-south squaring off. Levi taking the first pitch out of the zone. Jackson Henderson back to the plate and misses for ball 2, 2-0. A showcase of the great talent in the Beaver State. The 2-0 pitch, a comebacker, fielded by Jackson Henderson, underhands to Manny Casillas. Quickly 2 away in the 5th. Tate Shamau, the batter. And while indeed we do see 2 quick outs in the inning, we have not seen anything really close to a 1-2-3 inning today. Shamau takes down and away, ball 1. Tate doubled to left in the first, lined out in the third. 2 outs, nobody on in the fifth, 9-4 Walla Walla. Jackson's 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. The count 1-1. A final from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha today in the College World Series. Virginia has been eliminated by Texas Christian University 4-3. The 1-1 breaking ball lifted to left and playable. Gavin Ayers is right there, and we do have a 1-2-3 inning in the books. The Knights are gone in the fifth. After 5, Walla Walla 9 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Ben Parker, the batter, the astonished one. He takes a breaking ball strike in the count 0-1. Ben just couldn't accept the fact that he'd been part of a triple play in his last time around. He swings at a strike 1 pitch and hits a 1-hop base hit to left field. Parker is 3 for 3, a leadoff single against, or 4 for 4, pardon me, a leadoff single against Miles Gastola. So while he may still be a little bit bent about being called out on the right call on a triple play back in the 4th, he is staying locked in at the dish. He has singled 3 times and doubled. He gets a leadoff base hit here against Gastola with the Sweets leading 9-4 in the top of the 6th inning. Andrew Graham swings and doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. Andrew has flied to right, doubled home a run, and walked. Gastola, 3 consecutive scoreless innings, delivers inside, and the count 1-1. Our Gillette home team, Keller Williams, veteran of the day earlier, announced at the ballpark. Bob Knight, Brooks' dad. There goes the runner, Parker. The pitch is outside. The throw to second is not in time. A stolen base for Ben Parker. Good athlete. Very good ball player. And his astonishment over not and unwillingness to accept the fact that he was part of being out on a triple play notwithstanding. Good-looking ball player. Does many things well. The pitch on the way to Graham, swung on and fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Andrew. A stolen base for Ben Parker. He's in scoring position with nobody out. 9-4 Sweets. Gastola has put up zeros in each of the last 3 frames. Got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam with the triple play the last time around, and now gets some help on a good play again by Ethan Hedges, wide of third. A bouncer fielded by Ethan, who throws across to get Andrew Graham and keeps Ben Parker at second base. Continue to appreciate the work of Ethan Hedges at the hot corner after spending most of the spring at the other corner for USC. Logan Meyer, the batter, Ben Parker at second, 1 out. Gostola to the plate. Good fastball in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. The series concludes tomorrow night at 6:35. 6:20 pregame show on our night's live stream. The strike one fastball is in there for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes. Bingo night tomorrow night. I'm not exactly sure what goes on bingo night at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, or even some of the mysteries of bingo nights around. I've never really participated in one. We're going to have bingo in the ballpark tomorrow with great prizes to be given away. The strike two pitch down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Saul Goodman seemed to have a pretty good bingo game going in Better Call Saul. And it was all just out of the goodness of his heart to play bingo in the way that he did. 1-2 the count. Ben Parker at second, 1 out. Gostola delivers, and that's fouled over the canopy, right over our heads and down into the entrance area. With the sun finally breaking through, doesn't mean that the temperature has gone up really much. It's still blowing and cold, but the sun beginning to find its way through the clouds and the precipitation we had earlier today. The 1-2 pitch on the way is swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. Good fastball by Miles Gostola, getting Meyer to chase just a bit, but he had, with pinpoint, razor-sharp control on the first 2 pitches, jumping ahead of Meyer. Now faces Manny Casillas. Manny with the rare distinction of being a guy that has hit into a triple play in his life. A 2-6 triple play with 2 outs recorded. It wasn't quite Bill Womgans. The pitch is in there to Casillas for a strike, or Ron Hansen. And I'm not sure who turned in the last unassisted triple play in Major League Baseball, but I've just named the only 2 that I know of, Womgans and Hansen. 0-1 the count to Casillas, and this one wasn't unassisted, but almost. The strike 2 pitch on the corner, strike 2, 0-2 the count. With Casillas hitting a little nubber that stayed fair and stayed in the batter's box fair. The strike 2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's 4 straight zeros from Miles Gostola. He only needed to get Casillas once for the final out, and did. And we go to the 5th, or the bottom of the 6th, I should say, with the Knights having flipped the momentum in it and trying to continue their comeback. Great job by Gostola. No runs, a hit, a man left. And at the end of 5.5, it remains Walla Walla 9, the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Walla Walla as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jackson Howard delivers a first pitch strike to Tyler Howard. Jackson Henderson strike one pitch, a grounder to short, fielded by Peyton Knowles. Knowles throws out Tyler. One away, and Tai Yukamoto, the batter. Tai has bounced into a force play, singled to left, and scored. The Knights have scored the last 4 runs of this ball game, but they're still down 5. 9 runs, 10 hits, an error for the Swedes. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Knights. Tai Yukamoto looks at a breaking ball strike from Jackson Henderson. 0-1 the count. The strike one pitch, a fly ball into left field, coming in a hurry to play it on a hop is Gavin Ayers. Good job by Yukamoto. Going the other way for the second time today. He's 2 for 3. Base hit to left field, and Tyler Quinn, who's hit in some bad luck today, 0 for 3. He's hit the ball pretty well hard 2 out of his 3 times, and now Tyler at the plate. Throw to first, and Tai Yukamoto back. The Walla Walla Sweets taking it to the Knights through the first 2 games. 8-4 last night, leading 9-4 today, making the trip down from the beautiful Walla Walla Valley. I don't know if they're going to make it 4 years in a row, but the last 3 years declared in the USA Today's Reader's Choice as the best wine region in America. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2, 2-0. Italian immigrants planting the first grapes in the Walla Walla Valley in the 1870s. The 2-0 pitch, a fly ball to right field, misjudged by Max Martin, but now he finds it, is able to go back and make the catch for out number 2. Martin running on kind of a horizontal track, had the ball kind of push on him a little bit towards the gap, and he was able to recover and go back and get it. And another pretty good swing for the right-hand hitting Tyler Quinn with nothing to show for it. He's 0 for 4. Sam Stem, the batter. Sam tripled in his last at-bat. He scored 2 runs and had an RBI triple. He takes outside ball 1, 1-0. 9-4 Walla Walla, bottom of the 6th inning. Jackson Henderson back to the plate. Stem, a fly ball to center field. Logan Meyer has this one in his sights and makes the catch, and the Knights go quickly in the 6th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the 7th. Walla Walla 9 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
Number 39, Jacob Russell.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Walla Walla Sweets, 9 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Corvallis Knights, 4 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Miles Gostola, 4 scoreless innings. Settling things down, a triple play helped to keep it a scoreless stint for Miles. The Knights showed some life offensively with 2 runs in the third and 2 in the fourth to cut the 9-0 deficit to 5. They've settled down a little bit against Jackson Henderson. And now Jacob Russell is into the ball game for the Knights here in the 7th. Jacob out of the University of Redlands and from Fontana, California. Jacob goes to work and misses a bit high. Ball 1 to Max Martin. Max followed by Davis Carr and then Gavin Ayers in the 7th. 9-4 Walla Walla. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch hit sharply back at first, but right at Blake Avila. Blake runs it to the bag. 1 away in the 7th. And Davis Carr will come to the plate. Davis is 0 for 3. Russell kicks and comes to the plate. Very high. The pitching motion, the lefty, reminded me just a tad of the leg kick and the way he kind of hides the ball from the old films of Sponny. The 1-0 pitch swung out and missed in the count 1-1. The great Warren Spahn, who won 363 ball games, the late great. Quick working Russell delivers high, ball 2, 2-1. It was a Father's Day special back in 1965. Father's Day of 65. How about this matchup? Sandy Koufax beat Warren Spahn at Dodger Stadium 2-1. Spahny was aged by then, 42 or 43, but went toe-to-toe with Koufax, who did win it. Spahn pitching for the Mets. The 2-1 pitch missing high for ball 3. Russell delivers just outside for ball 4. Jacob very quickly puts Davis Carr aboard, bringing Gavin Ayers to the plate. Gavin is 0 for 3. Walla Walla 3 runs in the first, and really the game flipped in the second. 2 outs, nobody on. 2 outs, nobody on. And the Sweets, to their credit, rose up for 6. First pitch slider in there for a strike, and the wind actually blowing my ink pen, blowing so hard it blew the pen, which is not a weighty, it's not, but still, just to see it rolling off the table, not a great sight. Gives you an idea how gusty and chilly it is on this Sunday afternoon. The strike 1 pitch missing, and the count 1-1 to Gavin Ayers. Out of the stretch works Jacob Russell. He throws to first to Avila. Avila not able to get the ball out of his mitt, and into second base with a stolen base goes Davis Carr. Russell had picked off, apparently, Carr, but no throw to second, and Carr in safely. And now Gavin Ayers with an RBI opportunity. 1 ball and 1 strike against Jacob, who kicks and comes to the plate. The fastball misses high, ball 2, 2-1. Ken Griffey Jr. hit 2 homers on Father's Day. He hit his 500th career home run on Father's Day with his Papa Ken Sr. in the house at Busch Stadium, too. The 2-1 pitch is hit foul, back of the plate and out of play. With the canopy up here, I have no idea where eventually those balls are going to go. The canopy's been helpful, but we hope that we won't have to have it up after tomorrow night's 6:35 game any longer as we head towards summer of 23. The 2-2 pitch a little bit high, ball 3, 3-2. Wilbur Stargell hit homers in both games of a doubleheader on Father's Day in 1971. Henry Aaron hit 3 homers on Father's Day at Seals Stadium in 1959. The 3-2 pitch swung on and hit foul back of the plate. Father's Day at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field here in the year 2023 has featured a triple play. Brooks Hatch would have to go back through all of the score sheets through the years, but that's the first I've seen with the Knights since '07. The 3-2 pitch on the way is high, ball 4. Russell was behind the count 2-0 to Max Martin. Got Max to roll over on a ground ball to first. He has walked the last 2 batters, and that brings Kennedy Hara to the plate. Knights coach Ed Naggs walking in front of the Knights dugout on the third base side. Brooke Knight in a usual post. Right knee bent on the top step and kind of studying the action that has not necessarily been inspiring to him or his players the last couple of days. The pitch to Kennedy Hara is high, ball one. This ball game opened today with Kennedy getting hit by a pitch and ended up scoring one of 3 runs in the first, 6 runs in the second. The Sweets haven't scored since. A good job by Miles Gostola. Now the 1-0 pitch to Hara, fastball foul back, and the count 1-1. And on this Father's Day, I'm grateful to think back to my own dad, whom I lost in September of 2014, but a great man, a loving soul, and so many shared memories with my dad in sports. The 1-1 pitch in the turf and the count 2-1. The idea of fathers playing catch with sons. My dad was not a sports fan or a player, an athlete at all. Grew up in the Depression in Sioux City. Did not finish high school, went to work at a dairy farm during the Depression era. 2 on, 1 out, 9-4 in the seventh. The 2-1 pitch is just outside, ball 3, 3-1. And just a hard worker, never had the time for playing sports or even getting interested in them. But when I showed interest at the age of 7 in this game called baseball, the 3-1 pitch on the way, swung on and popped foul towards Urchin Alley, and the count goes to 3-2. In a matter of days after my dad learned that I enjoyed baseball, finding the Dodgers on the radio, Mr. Holland's garage, and hearing a voice coming out of it, a voice belonging to Scully. About 3 or 4 days later, my dad came home with baseball gloves that he found. One was a 3-fingered glove, and he awkwardly began to play catch with me. The 3-2 pitch is high for ball 4, and Jacob Russell has walked the bases loaded with 1 out, and Peyton Knowles, a left-handed hitter, will come to the plate. Brooke Knight conferring with pitching coach Bo Kearns. Brooke, I think, is ready to maybe come out and make a move here. And Brooke on his way out. I think that's going to do it for Jacob Russell. Too bad, the Knights still have a fighting shot in this ball game. They don't need a triple play now, but a double play could get them through. Brooke crosses the line, but he wanted to make sure he had a visit, so maybe he's not coming to make a move. Now, he takes the baseball away from Jacob Russell. I'm not sure I fully understand why Brooke would hesitate before crossing the Moonlight Graham line to come out onto the field proper. He is going to make a move. We'll see a right-hander come in. A big right-hander he is, with the bases loaded and 1 out. It could be my guy. I think it is. I'm trying to get a read on the number. Nope, it's not my guy. My good friend Max DeBeck, whom I misidentified the other day. We do have a right-hander coming in. Oh, my gosh, that is my guy. Oh, my gosh, and wind is blowing my stuff away, even with the phone weight on it. I got to dig it all out. It's blowing around wildly as Joey Munt comes into the game with the bases loaded and 1 out. 9-4. Thank you guys very much. Gathering up my things, blowing in the wind. And that's where I hope some answers are. And Joey Munt hopes to have them in the 7th. 90-second pitching change break. Joey Munt making his pitching debut in 2023. Slim down. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. right-hander Joey Munt into the ballgame for the Corvallis Knights, and Joey is making his 23 debut, not only with the Knights, but just on a mound. It's been a couple of years since he's pitched, so it's a big moment for Joey and the Corvallis Knights, and he inherits a very difficult situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. The Knights trailing 9-4, with the wind blowing everything around up here and blowing the stars around. I'd really like to see my whole family tonight, but the wind blowing everything around here. You can see the flags. It's as windy and blustery as I can remember a ball game here. A little topper foul up along first. Now, I thought Peyton Knowles for a moment might have hit a little number that could have led to an inning-ending double play. And it took an inning-ending triple play by Manny Casillas on a similar type swing back in the fourth. But Joey Munt and the Knights could certainly use a double play here. Down 9-4, top of the seventh, bases loaded and 1 out for Walla Walla. Joey from the stretch delivers fastball away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Jacob Russell walking the bases loaded after getting the first hitter out. And now Joey Munt, in a very important summer for his growth and development, his confidence in returning from injury, delivers a strike on the corner, and the count 1-2. And it would be a big boon to him, I think, just in his own frame of mind, to finally getting back in to face live hitters in a real game. The big right-hander set, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball pulled foul towards Anthony Murillo, the coach at first for Walla Walla. 1-2. Joey last pitch for the Beavers in 2021. So he's missed the last 2 seasons coming back from injury. This is a big moment for him. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Time called. He steps off the rubber for a moment, leaning in to get the sign from his battery mate, Tyler Howard. The right-hander ready, and the 1-2 breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called, 2 down. Great pitch by Joey Munt. That is good stuff and an important outcome for Joey in his first live action in 2 years to strike out Peyton Knowles with the bases loaded. Now with 2 away, Ben Parker, who is 4 for 4, the batter. 3 singles and a double for Ben. Munt delivers, and the fastball high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. There was hope during the early part of the spring in visiting with Beaver pitching coach Rich Dorman and with Joey himself. Joey thought he was going to pitch for the Beavers late in the year. The pitch to Parker lifted to left and playable. Levi Jones moving over to make the catch, and Joey Munt comes out of the bullpen in his first action in 2 years. Big smile on his face, greeted by his Knights teammates heading back into the dugout as he takes care of business with a strikeout and a fly ball, and the Sweets leave the bases loaded. It still gives the Knights a fighting chance on this Father's Day in Corvallis. No runs, no hits, 3 left. To the bottom of the 7th we go. We'll see a new pitcher coming in for Walla Walla. The Sweets 9 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream in 1240 Joe Radio. Left-hander Boone Fay out of Eagle Rock, California, and Glendale Community College. Glendale, Casey Stengel country as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 9-4, Walla Walla in front. Ethan Hedges, Blake Avila, and Ethan Hott on this Father's Day Sunday that has shown a little signs of maybe turning around in favor of the Knights. They still have a long way to go, but we'll see if they can come up with an inspiring comeback on this Dad's Day at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Ethan Hedges has had a great ball game. He shows bunt and misses. He's doubled twice and singled. Looking for his 4th hit and drives it to left center, but it's playable. Logan Meyer moving over to make the catch. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Blake Avila coming up. Blake has walked, been hit by a pitch, and struck out looking. And with all of the mentions of baseball on Father's Day, and Aaron and Koufax, Spani and company, Wilver Stargell, the greatest athletic event that I know of on Father's Day occurred in our own state in a different sport. But it's just so storybook. You can't imagine that. I mean, on Father's Day this happened. It did. Some of you may recall the Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200 on the IndyCar circuit at Portland International Raceway in '86, and just a classic athletic event and finish. The first pitch to Blake Avila, missing high, ball 1, 1-0. 9-4 Sweets, bottom of the 7th. Boone Fay to the plate, off speed and down. 2-0 the count. Michael Andretti, racing in the Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200, Father's Day 1986, on the last lap at PIR, ran out of fuel, and his dad, Michael, surpassed him for the closest finish in the history of IndyCar racing to that point. The 2-0 pitch, a strike. Ran out of fuel just in time for Dad on Dad's Day, Mario, to surpass Michael. 0.070 of a second differential on Father's Day. I mean, people were saying to Michael, did you let your dad win? The 2-1 pitch on the way to Avila, a bouncer to short, picked up by Peyton Knowles, and he throws across to first for the out. 2 away, and Ethan Hott will be the batter. Ethan has grounded to short, singled home a run, and flied to center. It was too perfect of a script for it to be so. And Michael said, no, I was mad. Fuel management, I mean, he ran out of fuel just, I don't know exactly when, how far an Indy car can go when the fuel's completely out, but enough for Mario to pass him. 0.070 of a second. That doesn't seem like a whole lot of time in the overall scheme of things. The pitch to Ethan Hott, a strike, the count 0-1. But it has been a Father's Day memory in the annals of sports. One of the best. Ethan taking ball 1, 1-1. 2 down, nobody on, bottom of the 7th. 9-4, Walla Walla. Fay to the plate, ground ball to short. Picked up by Knowles, throws out Ethan Hott. And a nice job by Fay, a 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th on Father's Day in Corvallis. Walla Walla 9 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Walla Walla 9, the Knights 4. The Sweets have been shut out over the last 5 innings, but they did some big damage early. 3 runs in the first, and then with 2 outs and nobody on, began a 6-run rally that essentially it put the game, it felt like, out of reach. But the Knights have shut them down since. Turned a triple play along the way to keep the zeros on the board. The Knights themselves showed some offensive life. 2 runs in the third, 2 in the fourth. But both teams have been scoreless through the last 3 innings. We go to the 8th. The Knights make a pitching change. Luke Kovac in. And Luke's first pitch is a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Really happy for Joey Munt. A 2-batter outing, and now Kovac delivers, swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Top of the 8th, 9-4 Sweets. But for Joey to get back on the horse for the first time in a couple of years and get 2 big outs with the bases loaded, that's big time. The strike 2 pitch swung on and missed by Graham. Luke Kovac blows away Andrew Graham on 3 pitches. And Logan Meyer, the batter for Walla Walla. Logan singled home a run in the 3-run first, walked and scored in the second, has since walked and struck out. Kovac delivers. Fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. The quick working lefty back to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed. Kovac dealing. No balls and 2 strikes. Good outing for Miles Gostola. Strike 2 pitch missing, down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. From the stretch with nobody on, the left-hander Kovac rocks, kicks, and delivers. Ball 2, 2-2. Kovac from Santa Maria, California. And delivers. Strike 3 called. They're actually from Lompoc. Went to Lompoc Community College. And now on to Cal Poly. Has played at Allen Hancock, Lompoc, CC, and now en route to play for Coach Larry Lee for the Mustangs in beautiful Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Manny Casillas, after back-to-back strikeouts from Kovac, takes low for ball 1. The 1-0 fastball, a strike, and the count 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Kovac looking very sharp and confident here as he comes back 1-1 and misses inside. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Casillas had the last big blow in this one. A 3-run home run to culminate the 6-run second inning. He takes the 2-1 pitch for ball 3. Went from the 3-run homer to a 3-out number. A triple play he hit into in the 4th. Struck out on his last at-bat. Swings and fouls one at the plate here to run the count full to 3-2. And Kovac is a strike away from striking out the side. 3-2, 2 down in the top of the 8th inning. Kovac settles in at the belt with nobody on. Now he rocks, kicks, and comes 3-2. A check swing foul on Casillas' part, back of the plate. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Max Martin on deck. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Breaking ball fouled off. Good job by Casillas to get a piece of that. That was a hard slider that Manny just did get a piece of. Kovac's fastball has looked good with 2 strikeouts. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball, good again. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Excellent work by Luke Kovac. He strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still Walla Walla 9 and the Knights 4 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-4 Walla Walla. Left-hander Boone Fay retired the Knights in order in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now goes to work against Levi Jones and misses just outside. 1-0 to the Knights left fielder, who's lined out, had a sacrifice fly, and hit back to the box. A right-hander throwing in the bullpen back of Fay. The left-hander kicks and comes with a 1-0 pitch. Jones fouls it at the plate, and the count 1-1 to Levi. Tate Shamau on deck. Tyler Howard to follow. Walla Walla 6 outs away from winning this series. They came in at 3-9 in league. The Knights at 8-4. The 1-1 pitch, a little bit high, ball 2. 2-1. The series concludes tomorrow night. Bingo night at the ballpark will be on the air at 6:20 with a 6:35 first pitch. Fay comes back to the plate. The 2-1 pitch just off the plate. Ball 3, 3-1. Of little things, big comebacks can be made, and getting a leadoff man aboard would be helpful. 3-1 to Jones. Tate Shamau next. 9-4 Sweets, bottom of the 8th. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Hit off the end of the bat on a couple of hops to Kennedy Harrop. Stationed in shallow right, the second baseman fields and throws out Jones. Big first out and 4 straight retired by Boone Fay. And that'll bring to the plate Tate Shamau. On this Father's Day, one other note, just as a recommendation. If you have not, I've mentioned Fathers Playing Catch with Sons, beautiful book of essays by Donald Hall, but the Brothers K. The pitch on the way is high, ball 1, 1-0. The Brothers K by David James Duncan, set in the Pacific Northwest, in fact in Camas. Shamau has doubled, is 1 for 3, 1-0 the count to Tate. Boone Fay from the stretch with nobody on delivers, fisted foul to the right and out of the reach of Manny Casillas. 1-1 the count. The Brothers K by David James Duncan. A lot of baseball in it. A lot of non-baseball stuff in it, too. It's a long, sprawling narrative of a family. Beautifully told, eloquently told by Duncan, but the baseball stuff is priceless. The 1-1 fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1-2 to Shamau, including father and son watching the game of the week together with Pee Wee Reese and Dizzy Dean. Some of the best stuff in the book. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Off speed and away, ball 2. My own dad bringing home the 3-fingered glove and learning how to play catch, and he really couldn't coach me, didn't know the game. We learned it together. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The left-hander Boone Fay to the plate, slap foul again to the right. But the shared experiences going to the ballpark, to Chavez Ravine and the Coliseum, and my dad tossing me up in the air and me jumping into his arms when the Rams rallied to beat the Packers, and listening to ball games in the car on the radio with my dad, traveling with him to work. And some of the best shared and memories I'm so grateful for on this Father's Day to my sweet, kind, wonderful father. Ground ball to third, grabbed by Andrew Graham. He throws wide of the bag, and Tate Shamau is aboard. Graham fielded cleanly, but threw a bit wildly, and the Knights have a base runner with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing 9-4. They've got a lot of work to do, but Shamau putting the pressure on, good speed down the line. And he'll be credited with an infield single, with Brooks Hatch determining that even if the throw was accurate, that Shamau might have beaten it. And here's our pregame show guest from several hours ago, J.C. Ing, pinch hitting for Tyler Howard. Interesting in that Howard, a right-handed hitter, but J.C. Ing, swinging from the left side, is sent up against the southpaw Boone Fay here in the bottom of the 8th. The infield single for Shamau. The Knights trailing 9-4. And the wind continuing to whip up here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Ing takes a strike and the count 0-1. Shamau held on by Manny Casillas. From the stretch, Boone Fay works, comes 0-1, off speed and down. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ing. Brooke Knight going through the signs at third. Ed Nags coaching at first. It's clouded up again. The wind has been blowing all day long. It's cooling off and getting cloudier. The 1-1 pitch to Ing, taken for a strike, and the count 1-2. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Bottom of the 8th, 9-4, Walla Walla. $1,173 on hand today. On this Father's Day event at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the 1-2 pitch missing to the pinch hitter J.C. Ing. 2-2 the count. An infield single for Shamau. He's held on at first. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Chop foul at the plate. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.C. Ing. Shamau gets his lead, held on by Casillas. The left-hander Boone Fay kicks and comes 2-2 to Ing in the turf. Ball 3, 3-2. So the Knights down all day long. Walla Walla 3 in the first, 6 more in the second. But if they can get just multiple runners on and put a little pressure on, they can give themselves a chance to stay on the comeback trail, and they will get multiple runners. Now, the 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4. And the Knights now here in the bottom of the 8th, down 5, have 2 on with 1 out, and Tai Yukamoto, the hitter. Tyler Quinn on deck. The Sweets had a right-hander throwing back of Fay, but whomever that was, no longer throwing, just spectating through the fence out in left field. Beyond the left field fence, Tai Yukamoto takes low, ball 1, 1-0. Ty's had a good ball game. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored. 9-4, Walla Walla, bottom of the 8th inning. Shamau at second, J.C. Ing at first. 1-0 to Tai Yukamoto. Fay to the plate, the 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. 6:35 for the series finale tomorrow night. Couple of off days, Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see you again here Thursday when the Girding Builders Market Men, our outstanding American Legion team and program, comes to Goss. The 1-1 pitch, down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Little Addams Family music to fire up the locals, trying to get the fans involved. Gomez, a pretty good dad, all things considered. The 2-1 pitch on the way is a strike, a throw down to first. Not in time, getting back safely is J.C. Ing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 1 out. 9-4, Walla Walla. The Sweets have been kind of cruising along since they put up those 9 in the first 2. The Knights trying to scratch and claw their way back, needing 5 in the 8th. Big pitch here to that end. The 2-2 offering swung on and rolled slowly foul up along first. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. On this unseasonably chilly Sunday, the Knights trying to heat it up at the right time late. They're getting some support from the fans, who are exhorted to everybody clap your hands, and they do. We'll see if the Knights can take some inspiration from the support here at Goss on this Father's Day. 2 on and 1 out. The 2-2 pitch on the way is chopped slowly up along first. That's a foul ball. Tai Yukamoto keeping the at-bat alive, 2-2 the count. Left-hander Boone Fay with the right-hander getting up again now in the bullpen for the Sweets. Ready to go with another 2-2 pitch to Tai Yukamoto. Swung out and missed. The ball goes through Davis Carr, though, on strike 3, and the runners move up 90 feet. Yukamoto strikes out for the second out of the inning. Nevertheless, the Knights with a base hit can draw themselves within legitimate striking distance, and Tyler Quinn, who was hit in bad luck all day today, comes to the plate now trying to find a hole and help the Knights begin to dig further out of theirs. 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Time called. Davis Carr on his way out, and whether we may see a right-hander, Josh Arabal, out of Pearl City, Hawaii, come in. If this is just a precursor to a move perhaps to match up with a righty, I'm not sure, but the catcher Davis Carr out for a visit with Boone Fay, the lefty. Certainly Coach Charlo has noted the quality swings that Tyler Quinn has had all day. And we'll see if this move on the part of Carr to walk out was a precursor to perhaps Coach Charlo walking out to make a pitching change. We'll see. A right-hander, Josh Arabal, is loosening. Tyler Quinn steps in. No move from Coach Charlo. And Tyler looking for a clutch 2-out hit, and now time called, and we will see the move. He was just giving Arabal as long as possible to kind of get hot again. So out to the mound comes the pitching coach, Tyler Charlo, the acting head coach. He hasn't made a signal yet, but he will go to the bullpen and bring his right-hander in. And because I need to confer a bit on just the exact pronunciation on this guy, we're going to take a 2-minute pitching change break and be back. 9-4, the Knights with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Back after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Right-hander Josh Arabal is brought in. He hails from Pearl City in Hawaii, attends Central Arizona. He goes to work on Tyler Quinn with runners at second and third, 2 down, bottom of the 8th, 9-4 Walla Walla, and misses low to Tyler. From the stretch, he works the 1-0 fastball in there for a strike. 1-1 to Tyler Quinn. The Knights with a mild threat, but an important one to cash in on, to try to keep legitimate hopes in this game. Shimau at third, Ing at second, 2 down. The 1-1 pitch to Quinn is rolled foul past Brooke Knight. The ball careens around and onto the field of play, chased down by Gavin Ayers. Bottom of the 8th inning, 1,173 in the ballpark on this Father's Day Sunday afternoon. Thanks for spending part of your Father's Day with us. We hope it's been a good one for you. The Knights trying to make it a little bit better right here. The 1-2 pitch to Quinn hits Tyler, and that hurts. Boy, he's grimacing all the way down. It got him in the left arm. Trots down to first base, greeted by Ed Nags, hit near the left elbow, I think. Ouch. That loads him up for Sam Stem. And the Knights with a tremendous opportunity here. If Stem can find a gap somewhere, then the Knights have really turned this thing around. They trail it 9-4 in the bottom of the 8th, but they have a good hitter in Stem who tripled back in the 4th. 1 for 4 on the day. Arabal to the plate, low for ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to the left-hand hitting Sam Stem with the bases full, 2 down. Shimau at third, Ing at second, Quinn at first. The 1-0 pitch to Sam, very high, ball 2, 2-0. Ethan Hedges, who's had a very good day at the plate, on deck. 2 doubles and a single. So Stem trying to do some damage himself, but also get Hedges to the plate to keep that rolling. The Knights trying to fight back, have an opportunity here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The 2-0 pitch on the way, outside, ball 3, 3-0. Walla Walla winning last night 8-4. They've been comfortably in front most of the day today. It can be a bit discomforting here for the Sweets if ball 4 ensues. The 3-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1. Sam Stem either looking for ball 4 or a big base hit of his own. Shimau at third, Ing at second, Quinn at first, 2 down. 9-4 Walla Walla, bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Arabal out of the stretch. The 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled back. So a good job by Arabal to work it from 3-0 to a full count. The Knights fans trying to help the hometown guys rally it up, clapping their hands, stomping their feet. Tate Shimau from third, J.C. Ing from second, Tyler Quinn from first. 3-2, 2 down. They go. The 3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4 to force in a run. The catcher, Davis Carr, was running back towards the dugout, assuming that strike 3 was going to be called. And Carr continues to shake his head as he settles back into the crouch. Sam Stem drawing ball 4 with the bases loaded. Shimau comes in to score now 9-5. Ethan Hedges, the batter. Hedges at the plate representing the tying run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The pitch to Ethan is fouled directly over my head in the canopy and into Urchin Alley right behind us. No balls and 1 strike to Ethan Hedges. Doubled in the first, singled and scored in the third, doubled home a run in the 4th. 9-5 Sweets in the 8th. Arabal with the bases full, back to the plate, good breaking ball, and he's ahead of the count 0-2. Ethan Hedges with the bases loaded and 2 down, now trying to deploy a tough 2-strike approach, keep the at-bat and the rally going. The 0-2 pitch on the way, swung on and a comebacker. Fielded by Arabal, underhands to Manny Casillas, and the inning is over. The Knights get a run. They needed more. They leave 3. We go to the 9th. Walla Walla 9, the Knights 5 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Luke Kovacs ready to go in the top of the 9th inning after striking out the side in the 8th. Kovacs will face Max Martin to lead things off. Davis Carr on deck and Gavin Ayers to follow. I don't know if there's some sort of gate or debris or something out on the field down under the TNT Builders party deck, but somebody has been sent down to close something up. And Kovacs' first pitch to Max Martin swung on and fouled back. 0-1 the count. Dynamic stuff from Kovacs in the 8th. The strike one pitch on the way, misses outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. I have communicated that our Washington Park Advisors player of the game will be Miles Gostola, the pitcher who went 4 scoreless innings. So thank you for coming by to collect that information. And we've also sent it into the McGrath family press box and to Bobby Merwin, who will announce it a little bit later. The 1-2 breaking ball misses from Kovacs. Ball 2, 2-2. Now, with the Knights trailing 9-5, I reserve the right if somebody hits a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th, we may have to adjust. The 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3. But Gostola pitched 4 scoreless to give the Knights at least a chance after falling behind 9-0, a chance to come back, and the Knights did bring the tying run to the plate in the bottom of the 8th, so that's something. The 3-2 pitch hit foul to the left and out of play by Max Martin. Kovacs has struck out the 3 batters that he's faced. He's 3-2 on Martin. The lefty rocks, kicks, and delivers 3-2, and that's fouled at the plate. A good job by Martin to keep the at-bat alive. Max Martin spending his summer with the Walla Walla Suites, getting ready to head to the University of Oregon. The 3-2 pitch on the way, taken, low and away, ball 4. Max Martin drawing the leadoff walk. Davis Carr will come to the plate. Davis has popped to short, grounded to third, struck out, and walked. Top of the 9th inning, 9-5, pardon me. Kovacs to the plate, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. The Knights have used Ethan Collins, Jonathan Stone, Miles Gostola, Jacob Russell, and Kovacs. The strike one pitch is fouled back. 0-2 the count. Gavin Ayers on deck. The game turned in a moment in the second. 2 outs, nobody on. 3-0 ball game. And a great job done by Kennedy Harr to get a 2-out single, and the inning was on. Base hit, walk, double, walk, 3-run homer, all after 2 outs. The Sweets haven't scored since, but they haven't needed to. A throw to first, back to the bag goes Max Martin. The strike 2 pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley. This ball caroms off the brick facade of Dixon Rec, and the kids give chase. No balls and 2 strikes in the top of the 9th inning. Kovacs from the stretch, delivers, swung on and fouled back. He's had a hard time, has Luke, after striking out the side last inning. Trying to put away back-to-back hitters. He lost Max Martin and walked him. He's 0-2 on Davis Carr. The Knights infield at double play depth would love to get one and get themselves back to the plate here soon and see if they can keep on the comeback. The strike 2 pitch very high. 1-2 the count. It has been kind of a plodding trail back into the game, and still a long way to go, but they gave themselves a shot in the 8th and still feel if they can keep it right here at a 4-run deficit, they would have a shot in the bottom half of the 9th. And Kovacs helping that cause. Fastball swung on and missed. Excuse me, 4 strikeouts All 4 outs for Luke from the strikeout. And that brings to the plate Gavin Ayers. Ayers has grounded out, struck out, popped out, and walked. Luke from the stretch, and now he tosses one over the first, almost volley floater, Steve Hamilton style, and a balk's been called on him. I think it did look a little out of sorts on the move. I think they're arguing that he made too much of a motion to the plate. A balk called by the plate umpire, sending Max Martin to second. It was an unorthodox kind of move, but I'm not sure that it fell in the category of balk. And it may have looked a little bit off, and it evidently did to the home plate umpire who called the balk. Brooke doesn't think it is. I'm not sure that it was either, even though I did describe the move to first as a bit of a modification of Sewell and Steve Hamilton. But a balk nevertheless is called, and now a chance for the Sweets to pick up a bit of insurance here in the top of the ninth. Fastball to Gavin Ayers, misses high, ball 1, 1-0. Kovac out of the stretch in the 1-0 pitch. That's away, ball 2, 2-0. Top of the ninth inning. The Sweets had a chance to put the game away, it felt like, back in the fourth with the bases loaded, and we have seen a triple play here today. The 2-0 pitch outside, ball 3, 3-0. That in itself will render today memorable, regardless of the final score. Bases loaded, nobody out. A triple play for the Knights. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 3-1. With Kovac having a little difficulty locating here in the inning, there will be some further activity now in the Knights bullpen with several guys dispatched into the left field corner here. The 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled, and that took a bite out of Tyler. Tyler Quinn now catching for the Corvallis Knights. Ouch. Tyler taking over back of the plate after Tyler Howard was hit for. Ooh. The count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Out of the stretch works Luke Kovac. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Popped up on the right side, carrying towards the stands. A long run with the wind pushing it and keeping it in play. A long run and too long for Blake Avila. And the ball lands in the field of play, but in foul territory right in front of the Walla Walla dugout to keep the at-bat alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the ninth inning. Luke Kovac working on Gavin Ayers. Kennedy Hara on deck for the Swedes. Max Martin at second. The 3-2 pitch. That's hit foul off first. This one will carry into the Jack Riley concourse and keep the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kovac peering into Tyler Quinn. The left-hander from the stretch. The 3-2 pitch on the way is ball 4. And that'll bring to the plate Kennedy Hara, hit by a pitch twice and walked in this ball game. Also singled and scored back in the second. Two on and 1 out, top of the ninth inning. And a chilly, breezy Sunday afternoon in Corvallis. Out of the stretch, first pitch ground ball to third. Ethan Hedges goes to Shimau, pulled Shamau off the bag a bit, but Tate able to maintain enough contact to constitute a force out, but no chance for a double play with a throw to Shamau's right. Shamau with a stretch to get the put out. And that brings Peyton Knowles to the plate. On the play, Max Martin advances to third. Kennedy Hara aboard at first and third, 2 down, top of the ninth, 9-5. The Sweets in front. They haven't scored since the second. The left-hander Kovacs trying to keep it that way. Comes to the plate and misses. Low and inside, ball 1. When the Knights bat in the bottom of the ninth inning, Blake Avila, Ethan Hott, and Levi Jones, the scheduled hitters. The Sweets 3 outs away from winning the series. The 1-0 pitch in the turf, good block by Tyler Quinn to even the count at 1-1, or run it to 2-0, I should say. Ben Parker on deck. The 2-0 pitch, a strike. The Knights have used, I think I missed one of the guys, and it was a significant 2-batter stretch for Joey Munt, but the Knights have used Ethan Collins, Jonathan Stone, Miles Gostola, Jacob Russell, Joey for 2 batters, and now Kovacs trying to finish things up. He throws to first base, no balk this time, and getting back to the bag is Kennedy Hara. 2-1 to Peyton Knowles. Runners at first and third and 2 down. 9-5 Sweets. Kovacs set, delivers outside. Ball 3, 3-1. Kovacs ready. And the 3-1 pitch from Luke. Ball 4 to load him up. Ben Parker to the plate. And Brook Knight is on his way out to the mound as Luke Kovacs has walked the bases loaded and will head back to the dugout. Such dynamic stuff. He's going to be exciting to watch throughout the summer. Struck out the side last inning. Had a strikeout here in the ninth, but he's also had trouble commanding the zone, walking 3. So, with the bases loaded, we'll see a new pitcher, I would think. Or not. I think that's just a pep talk from Brook. And that's nice to see. He's showing some faith here in Luke Kovacs to kind of rediscover the stuff and get the Knights through this top of the ninth inning. Bases loaded, 2 down. 9-5, Walla Walla. And once again, the Sweets with an opportunity to break this thing wide open. But they've had a couple of chances. Knights pitchers have been up to getting out of some big trouble. The pitch on the way to Parker, very high from Luke. Ball 1, 1-0. Bo Kearns is usually the one who goes out on visits, but in this case, Brook Knight wanted to look Luke in the eye and have a conversation with the talented lefty on his own. The 1-0 pitch is in the turf, coming down the line to score from third base is Max Martin. And the Sweets lead at 10-5 on the wild pitch. The first run the Sweets have scored since the top of the ninth inning, but it puts the Knights back up against it, down 5 with runners at second and third. Gavin Ayers into third, Peyton Knowles into second. The pitch to Ben Parker misses again for ball 3, 3-0. The 3-0 pitch on the way is low and inside for ball 4. Well, Brook Knight gave Luke the opportunity to try to get through it, and Luke issues his 4th walk of the inning and will come out. Well, I really like that kid's fastball, though, and we'll look forward to seeing more of it as we go this summer. We've got a pitching change break here in the top of the ninth inning. Walla Walla 10 and the Knights 5. We'll find out who we've got when we come back in 90 on a pitching change break from Corvallis on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. If you were trying to communicate with me, Tom. Must have gone off. The Knights really struggling with command the last couple of days. 10 walks and 2 hit batters yesterday. 4 walks in this inning have brought the Knights pitching staff to a combined 12 walks today with 2 hit batters. They trail it 10-5 as a result after losing yesterday 8-4. The bases are loaded and 2 down for left-hander Evan Clark out of Western Springs, Illinois. Made 2 appearances for the Trojans this past spring. The lefty to the plate, and the first pitch is swung on and missed by the right-hand hitting Andrew Graham. Bases loaded, 2 down. A run in for the Sweets, who are in command 10-5 in the top of the ninth inning. Evan from the stretch to the plate, high and inside. Ball 1, 1-1. The Sweets are 3 outs away from winning this series and putting the Knights in a salvage mode tomorrow night at 6:35. Fastball from Evans swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. And the series began matching the first and last place teams. The Knights in first, Walla Walla in last coming in. It's early. But even so, a pretty good gap, 5 games separating the two, and yet the Sweets on the verge of winning the series. The pitch on the way, hit foul into Urchin Alley to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count with the bases loaded, 2 down. Evan Clark, the latest, and the Knights certainly hope the last guy who will see the mound here today delivers, and it's fouled straight back. Top of the ninth inning. Clark is the 7th pitcher of the afternoon for Corvallis. 10 runs, 10 hits for the Sweets. The Knights, 5 runs and 9 hits. Evan Clark with a count of 1-2, working on the right hand, hitting Andrew Graham. Delivers, swung on and chopped foul. The count remains 1-2. Andrew today has flied to right, doubled home a run, walk, grounded to third, and struck out. Every batter in the Sweets lineup, save for Casillas, has walked or been hit by a pitch or a combination. The pitch on the way, foul back. The count remains 1-2. Casillas with the distinction of a 3-run home run back in the second and hit into a triple play in his next at-bat. 1-2, 2 down, bases loaded, top of the 9th inning. Evan Clark from the stretch delivers outside, ball 2, 2-2. Evan trying to end on the hill anyway here what has been a kind of a miserable day today for Knights pitchers. The 2-2 pitch is hit to left. Going back on the ball is Levi Jones. He reaches up to backhand it to retire the side. But with the aforementioned 12 walks and 2 hit batsmen, the Knights have been up against it much of the day and trail thus by 5 going to the bottom of the 9th. The Sweets empty their bullpen. They don't feel like they need it any longer. They've got Josh Arabal to try to bring it home, with the Sweets emptying the pen, leaving just maybe one other guy down there, and the rest of the guys coming in to join their teammates in the dugout on the first base side. We go to the bottom of the 9th at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Walla Walla 10, the Knights 5 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Blake Avila leading things off for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the 9th inning. Swings and lifts a fly ball to center field. Logan Meyer comes in to make the catch. One away. The Knights down to their final 2 outs, trailing 10-5. Ethan Hott, the batter. Ethan has grounded to short, singled home a run, plied to center, grounded to short again. Josh Arabal kicks and comes to the plate. Slider, good one, in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Levi Jones on deck. Arabal working quickly, comes back with the 0-1 fastball down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The Sweets appear to be poised to make it a series win here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 1-1 fastball from Arabal, very high and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Tomorrow night, the Knights will try to get one of the 3. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Fisted foul towards Ed Nags. The Knights' first base coach grabs the baseball. And the count is moved to 2-2 to Hott, who swings and taps 1 foul at the plate to stay alive. 2-2 to Ethan. Levi Jones next. Araball's 2-2 pitch on the way. Clangs off the shin guards of his catcher, Davis Carr. Low for ball 3, 3-2. Bingo night tomorrow night, 6:20 pregame, 6:35 first pitch. The 3-2 pitch pulled above the Riley Concourse foul down the left field side. It remains 3-2 to Ethan Hott. Josh Araball, pride of Pearl City, delivers low for ball 4. And that'll bring to the plate Levi Jones. Levi has lined out, had a sacrifice fly, hit back to the box, and grounded to second. A one-out free pass to Ethan. Josh Araball from the stretch comes to the plate, and it's whacked into right field. Base hit. Ethan Hott will stop at second. Max Martin gets the ball back in. So, like to see the fight to the end. The Knights were drubbed last night 8-4. Trailed this one 9-0. Last inning brought the tying run to the plate after scoring a run. Ended up leaving the bases loaded, but showing some fight here in the bottom of the ninth, down 10-5. The batter is Tate Shamau with runners at first and second and one out. Josh Araball works from the stretch, comes to Shamau, breaking ball foul back. 0-1 the count to Tate. Tate has doubled, lined out, flied to left, and had an infield single. Both teams with 10 hits. The difference, again, in the number of freebies given up. The Knights have walked 12 and hit 2. Breaking ball misses, and the count 1-1. 10 runs, 10 hits for Walla Walla. 5 runs, 10 hits for the Knights. Ethan Hott at second, Levi Jones at first. 1-1 to Tate Shamau. The pitch on the way, fastball for a strike. And the count 1-2, and a little bit of disgruntlement expressed by the hometown fans. That's a big call. 1-1 to 1-2 as opposed to going the other way. A gigantic difference. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. The Knights are down to their final out. And Merritt Jones, a pitcher for the Corvallis Knights, hits here in the 9th hole. Or pardon me, in the 8th hole, batting in J.C. Ing's spot. J.C. did not stay in the game and catch. Tyler Quinn had to vacate the DH spot, and so no designated hitter. Merritt Jones bats here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the pitch from Araball to Jones misses high and away. The Knights used 2 pitchers who got hits in yesterday's action. And now Merritt Jones hoping to join that as well with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. The Knights trailing 10-5. Breaking ball from Araball misses. Ball 2, 2-0. Bottom of the 9th. Tai Yukamoto on deck, and now Merritt Jones trying to keep the Knights' flickering hopes alive here with Ethan Hott at second, Levi Jones at first. He takes a big rip, does Merritt, doesn't get it. The count 2-1. Josh Araball, the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for the Sweets, delivers high. Ball 3, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike the count to Merritt Jones. 2 on and 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. The Knights down 10-5, but Jones trying to keep the Knights alive. And he takes a breaking ball down to load him up. Now, Tai Yukamoto comes to the plate with the tying run in the on-deck circle. Tyler Quinn represents the tying run. Tai Yukamoto trying to keep the Knights' very small hopes alive. Arabal issuing ball 4, and the acting head coach heading out for a conversation here or maybe even a move. Tyler Charlo talking to Arabal. The Knights with the bases loaded, down 10-5, and that run that Walla Walla was able to score in the top of the inning looming quite large right now. Because indeed Yukamoto would represent the tying run. As it is, he could hit one over the right field bleachers, which would be indeed a Stargilesque Herculean type cloud if he does, but it would still leave the Knights down a run. But it'll be fun to see. We'll see what, after Charlo decides to stay with Arabal, what Josh does here now with Tai Yukamoto's had a good game. And the first pitch is a fastball high, ball 1. Tai is 2 for 4 with a run scored. Bases loaded for the second straight inning for the Knights here in the bottom of the 9th inning, down 10-5. The 1-0 pitch is outside, ball 2, 2-0. Tyler Quinn on deck, a right-hander in the bullpen for the Walla Walla Sweets. Landon Webb. The 2-0 pitch on the way, fastball for a strike, and the count 2-1. Yukamoto appeared to be taking all the way. Ethan Hott at third, Levi Jones at second, Merritt Jones at first. The 2-1 pitch on the way, lifted foul to the left and out of play. Yukamoto and the Knights down to their final strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trailing by 5. They've been down since the outset. 3 runs in the first for the Sweets, 6 in the second. Now trying to bring it home, up 10-5. Josh Arabal to the plate. The 2-2 pitch, a fly ball to center field. Playable for Logan Meyer. Backs up, makes the catch, and the Sweets have won the series. Taking an advantage in both games of some uncharacteristic wildness from Knights pitchers, and the Walla Walla Sweets win it 10-5. The Knights leave the bases loaded in back-to-back innings, so they gave themselves a chance to make it interesting in the end, but come up short. So the Knights will be out to salvage 1 game in this 3-game series. They have not been playing or pitching to their 6-time consecutive championship standards, and they'll try to get back on the beam tomorrow night and get 1 of 3 before getting a couple of days off. So the Walla Walla Sweets, coming into the weekend series at 3-9, have taken the first 2. They win last night 8-4. They win this one 10-5, a ball game that saw as the highlight a triple play in the 4th inning turned in by the Corvallis Knights. But they dug a deep hole, did the Knights. 3 runs in the first and 6 in the second. Manny Casillas, a 3-run home run, and also hit into the triple play. And the Walla Walla Sweets then kind of hang on from that point on. The Knights outscored them 5-1 from the second inning on, but the hole was too deep. Walla Walla wins it. So we hope that you'll be able to make your way out to the ballpark tomorrow on bingo night, a 6:20 airtime on the Knights live stream and on Joe Radio. And we hope the rest of your Father's Day celebration today will be a good one. We appreciate you joining us today on this cool, cloudy, blustery, and somewhat unpleasant day in certain respects. Certainly the final score, not what the Knights were looking for. But I hope that it was a good time had by our 1,173 here in attendance, and we appreciate you taking time wherever you are to follow the Knights and the Sweets on this special Father's Day edition of Knights Baseball. For Thomas Rudolph, Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, Brendan Brucker, and Dale Hummel, this is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field thanking you for joining us. Again, happy Father's Day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow night. Our final score, Walla Walla 10 and the Knights 5 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So long, everybody.